For ruining my time with my girlfriend.
I actually really want to try it because, in addition to it being blue and being naturally blue,
well, then I'll just have to rub your shoulder differently.
it's actually got a very interesting
long enough for me to do it.
botanicals mix. So it's got like juniper, which is like that standard gin thing, but they went to, and they're doing more like a grapefruit rind. They're using one of their black tea blends from the hotel.
Nice.
As well as like rose petal and ginger.
Nice.
And a couple of
sounds awesome.
It sounds really cool. But then the reason it's blue is because the other part of it is they use the butterfly pea blossoms, which essentially has got the same kind of dye, organic dye I think as they have in like a red cabbage.
Okay.
So that's why it's that kind of indigo blue purple.
Nifty.
And the cool part is it's pH sensitive and reactive. So like if you put it in a gin and tonic, it turns pink.
That's super cool.
So I'm like, it sounds dope. And then I went and I looked around because I was like, okay, this is super gimmicky. Like, is there a catch? So I went and looked around on a couple of gin review sites, and all of them were like, yeah, we thought it was gimmicky too, but it's actually good gin. Like, in addition to being like super cool and something that reacts to how you mix it, it's actually tasty.
How much is the bottle?
I was looking at like Total Wine and More. It's like $35 to $40.
I was gonna say, I'll go in on it with you because I thought it'd be higher.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
I'm like, typically, like I've tried Bombay straight. I don't like pine needles, but I do like gin and things.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd be willing to A, try it straight if it is actually just straight good gin, and B, mix it with other things depending on how we want to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, like Total Wine.
If you ever get another night off again, other than D&D.
Yeah. Yeah, generally I'm like looking at it and seeing it. It's like between 35 and like $40.
Not bad.
I'm like,
why?
That's super cool.
Can you see that bottom one?
The bottom book?
Yeah.
You want to see a book while we're about to start playing my game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to do his own thing, ignore you completely, and then chime in for the parts where it's relevant.
That's exactly. I was going to
That's very
basically
rude,
do all that.
actually.
Yeah.
I don't think that's very good D&D table manners, but...
My plan was just to sleep through the game, so I really think that's honestly just
Oh,
a waste
I was
of
going to
time.
play Knights of Pen and Paper 2 while we were playing this game, so I'm going to always be playing, D&D.
I just
Never
really
stop
wanna,
other players.
Oh, hey guys,
I
we're
just really
streaming.
want to know why you keep the house at the perfect temperature for me to fall asleep at.
Well, he was
You
complaining...
mean the middle ground between Brock freezing to death and me dying of overheating? Because that's what this temperature is. It's the middle ground between Brock and I.
Also wants to be really cold. I want to not freeze. Also wants to not be overheated. I like being warm. And so, yeah.
Brock, you're being very unreasonable.
There's
Everyone knows
a
you can,
solid
you
reason
can
why
go
my
and
room
put
smells
on a
like a campfire
sweatshirt
was
if
in
you're
there.
too cold.
What?
There's a point.
When I
room
walk
smells like a
around
campfire
sweats
was
in
in there.
summer because it's cold in here.
Because I had the window open with a fan.
It's a different story, right?
Just because California is slowly burning to the ground doesn't mean I'm going to be uncomfortable at night.
Fair.
There's not even that many fires right now.
No, one's really big down in Mendocino.
Yeah.
I was
My
laughing.
dad got sent home, so it's not that big.
I was laughing.
Oh, hey, Spalino.
What's up, guys?
I was like, oh. Good. I was laughing to myself
See,
the other day.
there's the
they
new
had-
badge for the first 10 people.
Ooh.
Oh.
I was laughing with the about the one. It was like all the smoke we were getting was from a controlled burn.
Yeah.
But then they had to go and like declare it a wildfire so that Cal Fire could go and help with it. I was like, somebody was like, and people were like, oh yeah, it makes sense. I mean, they just they want to make sure that they could put it out. I'm like, yeah, but still, you started a fire that you didn't actually have the means to put out.
We didn't start
You
the
started
fire.
a control
They
fire,
only
and you
had
can't
like
control
100
it. Good
people
job.
working on this, and it was like 200 acres.
I'm like,
What is your problem?
like, what were you doing? What was you thinking?
Come on, roll 20. I didn't change literally anything.
Oh, baby, what is you doing? But that one
You want to hear
cracked me up.
something abhorrent and blasphemous?
Yes.
So, Kyra came over yesterday because it was her birthday, and all my friends suck.
Oh.
I finally got around to watching I Am Mother.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed feelings.
I am mother.
It was the
Oh,
one.
I liked it.
mixed feelings.
Did you stay up later with them, Brock?
No, I watched it in the past because it looked interesting and it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
What is it like a live action?
It's a robot that is in charge of basically repopulating the Earth.
Oh,
There's a
that's
bunch of
weird.
embryos and then raise them, and then in the trailer one of them lets a person in from the outside and everything gets weird.
Yeah, I remember
hey.
the trailers for that.
Look at my thing.
You got a thing.
Hey!
Hi.
Brock has pizza.
Woo!
I had dumplings. They're all gone now, though.
I didn't eat dinner, and I probably won't.
What is food?
The thing that neither of us have, Mitch.
So it would seem.
Rough.
Technically, we could be.
Is it one of those things that I could get if I had money?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, rough.
Actually, want
I think everything is something you get if you have money.
I got
Not
coffee
a second
instead of
life.
food today, so
Yet.
Not that we know of.
I forgot to order dinner at work today, and then I also forgot to take home the extra lunch specials that I got at work. So I had they're Italian subs.
Ooh.
It's on hoagie rolls, and I had 3 of them that I'm probably gonna go get tomorrow my day off
Heck yeah.
because they were for Brandon.
What?
I got pre-made sandwiches that they had at work for lunch.
Oh,
That
really?
they made sandwiches. They made Italian subs, and I was like, these would be perfect for Brandon's lunch.
Yeah.
Aww.
Austin, you need to tell Diane
Think of things.
that they should put cheese
Recently
raviolis on
found
the
out
menu
that
because I want
pozole-
some.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Now I lost the...
I'll tell her exactly that.
The reason it has pork
And then you need to
is
bring them
because
home
it used to be human.
and feed them to me.
Oh,
Yeah. Like,
that seems like a good replacement.
yeah. So pozole, the Latin American like soup
Well, you need to
recipe,
tell me what day
has
the
its
salad
origins
is, like,
as
come
a
over
soup
and
that
eat them.
was made
Like a
with
Monday would
humans.
be a really good day.
That's not good.
How do you know? You haven't tried it.
I haven't. But, I mean... Depends on what you're feeding the human. If it's me, I eat nothing but garbage, so it's probably gonna taste like garbage.
I only like
This right here is not quality human.
I only like free range human. just branded out there hunting triathletes. Nice and lean. These just
I don't know. I
these just
feel
taste
like
like
with
protein
meat, you want
shakes.
ones with a lot of good fat on them. So like
That's
maybe the lean athletes
So
are the
clearly,
ones.
you
First
don't
of all,
eat meat.
those are going to be harder to find, or harder to catch, because they're
True.
athletes.
Simply because not
B.
It's more likely that they'll fight back.
B. We should really stop having this conversation
You think so?
on the internet.
Why?
On the internet. Wait, do you think Twitch is gonna care if we're talking about the morality and
No, but potential
practicality of
lurkers
eating?
might have an issue with it.
like during
Yeah.
Halloween time.
There's that.
Or
We went through.
So anyway,
there's
I'm
a
making
random
pozole
list
for Halloween.
of
I'll
movies
I'll
that
also be
everybody
bringing
has to see.
decorations.
I think I'm scared.
That's a
All
really
of you
great
overall
skeleton
that.
you got there, Spence.
It looks so real.
I know.
I know. Just don't touch it. Why? Did you just move its head? No, don't
I
look
can
at
send
it.
to
Because
you.
it's real.
I guarantee there's a bunch of those.
Okay, so where we left off last time is you guys went back into the underground ruins outside of the town.
The ruins.
The
The
ruins.
ruins.
The ruins. And you guys eventually went through town. You had one fight with I forget actually what the flying monsters were on your way to the center of the ruin, and you guys eventually found a temple in the middle. So as you guys explored this, you guys went the path that took you to the end of the temple first, and you guys found a mural. You guys found a couple things. First off, there's a lot of undead left in this temple, and when you went underground, you found an undead skeletal champion cleric. You found out that did I tell you what his archetype was?
I think somebody made me watch this.
Let me,
Did you watch this?
He had an archetype that I really liked specifically because of what you guys discovered he worshipped, which was just the elder beings in general, not a specific one, but
Are you old?
So he was an elder mythos cultist, cleric archetype.
Kind of boy that likes Cthulhu.
Yes, and in case you guys are curious, it's from Paizo 2016's Pathfinder role-playing game Horror Adventures, not third party.
Okay.
But so this is the part that was kind of cheaty, and I did not like this for putting you against an undead, but he used charisma instead of wisdom as a cleric.
Rude. You would.
No, I liked it though because his channeling, I told you guys, wasn't positive or negative energy per se, but it was just damage that like literally ate at and devoured the corporeal forms of living beings. So it's corporeal, non-skeleton, undead. So the people who are immune. Wait. But instead of healing undead, the blast of energy harms and devours living beings, corporeal, non-skeleton undead, and constructs crafted from flesh. This is not negative energy damage. The damage manifests in the form of wounds from supernatural deterioration and rot.
Yick.
And then it was a fortitude save rather than a will save, which is what confused, I think, you, because you're like,
Yeah.
that wasn't a will save. What spell did you use?
He's like, it's not a spell, do you know? I'm like, I don't like it.
And if you would have done a religion check, you could have rolled high enough, because for an archetype or a prestige class, it's 15 plus the level needed for the ability, so that just would have been 16 because you get channel at first level. But anyways, I thought that was pretty interesting on that guy's part. So you guys also found
Oily small spout Nerf red blaster.
what did you?
He saw me take a thing of pizza and just go, "Ow!" So he clicked it.
The one bite challenge. You guys also found the remains of a mural, stone mural that went from floor to ceiling, and the only parts of the mural that were left really were like the top left corner. And it was in a language that you guys don't know, but do I want to call it a planes check, general knowledge, I think?
15.
You can know that it's probably Aklo, considering that's the language used by the Elder Beings.
I don't know.
Aklo's are really weird, because isn't Aklo the air
I think so.
language?
No, Aklo's the
Aberrations.
yeah.
I'll do a comprehend language if no one knows it.
Well, you've cast the spell, that's how you've known it so far.
Oh, never mind.
So, you now know that, like, what you guys read when you first
Oh, this
encountered
thing,
the
never mind.
ruins,
The ruins.
was probably Aklo also. And that's where you guys are at right now. So you're in the second floor.
I'm thinking Orin. Orin's the tongue of heavens, the flying creatures.
The what?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So you guys are in the basement. These are the stairs that you went down in. So you guys come back up. You walk down here. This was just a empty office room with not really much to offer you guys. I don't know. Scroll to the...
There were a handful of undeady boys down here.
And then this is
I tanked an
the
encounter.
crossway. So once you guys reach this point, do you want to go from my perspective as your party to the left, straight, or right, which will lead you out?
Always go left.
Maybe left.
Okay.
Like that left.
So let me...
That's how that works, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now twirl. Twirl. Now twirl.
I'm sitting.
for convenience sake, I'm just going to reveal all this, and we'll just say your light sources are good enough.
Yay.
I don't know. I might see eventually if I can get you guys just to, hey, I'll bring tablets or laptops because we're going to do a dynamic lighting for one specific session. But until then, this will just be good enough for you guys. So you guys
That's fine.
enter into the main hall of the temple. This is where their masses would have taken place. You see that there are alcoves on the side where statues. I don't know who.
Probably Brandon.
So these alcoves once had nicely. You're still there.
Oh, I know.
Once had nicely ornate statues in them, but now, like the statues in the general walk entryway, they are now deteriorated and beyond recognition. The pews in the middle are smashed up, and for purposes of terrain, they're not really worth denoting as difficult terrain for any reason. There's just ways to get by, fine enough. The pillars running along are still standing strong, which is a good thing for a building this big. And as you guys look up here, you see the altar where the priests would have done their services, and we'll just leave it right about there.
Right.
And you see a creature lumbering there. So as you guys look at it, and these are more skelly boys. So as you guys look at it, you may roll a dungeoneering check if you have it.
Dungeoneering?
Keep making me make these rolls I'm not so good at. That's it.
I don't have that one.
8 in total.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what Haldo can do.
I only have Arcana, History, Planes, or Religion.
Someone roll me a d20.
3.
16.
16 on the die?
Yeah.
Alright, so plus his. So he knows what this monster is.
Cool.
What is this monstrosity?
So this nightmare shambles along the ground on 8 muscular tentacles that leap behind a clear, viscous residue stinking of putrefaction. Its amphibian skin is moist, green-black, and covered in warts and protuberances. On its back, dozens of fist-sized pustules shift and pulsate with nauseating vitality, like sentient oily bubbles threatening to burst.
Ew.
This is a bogwood. It is a medium aberration. It's got dark vision. It's got a revolting aura of 10 feet. It has
Or if you can see it.
What? Or if you see it, it's nauseating. Yeah. It's got
It's like,
2
ugh.
slam attacks that each have a nauseating touch. Its touch is disgusting. Creatures hit by a slam attack must succeed at a fortitude save or be nauseated for 1 round. And it has a range attack. This cracks me up. Its pustules are its young. So
Oh
each
my
round,
God.
a bogwig can launch one of its offspring clinging to its back at a target within 10 feet as a ranged touch attack. On a successful hit, the offspring attaches itself to the target and begins draining blood, automatically dealing some amounts of bleed damage, and possibly infecting the target with bogwood fever.
Dogwood beavers.
As a full round action, a creature can attempt to remove one of these offsprings either by bludgeoning it with a fist or pulling it off. Either way, removing an offspring kills the larval creature. Someone other than the target the offspring is attached to can perform this action. Anyone using a weapon to kill or remove an attached offspring deals half of the damage to the creature to which the offspring is attached. So half to the larva and half to the, at that point, host.
Ouch.
A bogwood can launch up to 10 offspring per day. And this comes from
Well, alrighty then.
An Adventure Path, Curse of the Lady's Light, number 62.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the Rise of the Rune Lord, Shatterstar, I think, number 62. I think I looked that up.
tell you. So.
Oh, I looked up which adventure path it was. Yeah, this is part of the Shatterstar. adventure
Alright,
path.
let's go ahead and fight this thing then.
I feel like we're gonna end up having quite a few of the people from Shatterstar.
Yeah.
All right, so let's roll
Depends on where
some
monsters brand finds.
Initiative.
initiative.
Well, I think a lot of the ones that are
Initiative.
Yeah, I'm done using this die.
You rolled a 1. It sucks to be you.
I'm gonna take that one.
sucks to be just like you.
Oh, that's not what I was going for, but that's a good song too.
We're fighting this one too.
Come on, computer.
Let it live.
I believe in you, computer.
No, you're right. We should let it live. Yeah, we should let it live, guys. What's in my head? Tell me
I
something.
believe
I too
in
say
you, computer.
My life for the old ones.
Load your shit. Okay. All right, Olney.
I got 3.
Can I get a Cormier? Ooh, strong.
I just didn't mix it.
Well,
So it's all floating on top.
15.
Can I get a
Forgot the
Poshman?
word in here while I have
22.
8 points of ability damage.
And Cecil.
5.
Oh.
All right. Well, Poshman rolled really well, but guess who rolled a 19 on the die?
Stop that.
Well, Poshman.
See who else rolled a 19.
Fuck off, Brendan.
I'm
Like he always does.
I don't mean to. It just happens.
Like, I had to roll 2 dice to get that.
Bad, weren't you?
Wait, and this huge monstrosity is more dexterous than me? Rude.
He's
What
medium.
feats?
So let's see. His range attack is only at 10 feet. Oh, can I get all the players on the board I have?
4.
Yeah, I need. I think that might be Cecil. And I need a
Right.
Kren and a.
We also need to zoom in because the figurines take up more than 1 5-foot square.
They're the
oh,
green.
The green squares. That's okay.
Sorry, I tried to make the green stand out. And then a Krenny boy.
Cren's right there.
Sure.
Perfect. So he'll just go ahead and can you throw in a charge?
Sure.
You make 1 attack.
Yeah.
He'll try to throw an offspring at Cecil. What's your flat-footed touch AC? A 10.
Oh, look, it's not a
Oh my goodness, though. I just rolled a 1 for you boys, so you saw it.
That's good, but it was a. I think my touch was 11 right now.
Well, so
It's flat-footed though.
it's flat-footed touch, which means almost nothing goes to it but your deflection bonus.
Deflection
Your
bonus
bonus
would still go
deflection.
to it, yeah.
That's it though.
Yeah.
Because your dodge doesn't go to your
literally it.
flat-footed.
Dodge doesn't go. Dodge doesn't go to flat-footed.
Nope.
All right. Well, he ran up,
Insight, profane,
but
all of the external forces helping you.
so he has revolting aura now. So any creature within 10 feet of him must make a Fortitude save or be sickened. This effect persists as long as the creature was within the aura and for 2 rounds after. So would you say like Bomb is 10 feet, Brock,
Mm-mm.
or only Cecil?
It's only Cecil.
Really?
Yeah, because they go up 5, 10, and then it turn back in.
Diagonal.
I mean, if you were to make the aura, it'd be the circle and barely cover those squares, barely touch those squares. So
It would barely touch the squares.
So what's your total?
That's 17.
You do not feel sickened.
I detest you.
A creature that is
But I
successfully
do not
saves
wish
is not subject to the same revolting aura for 24 hours.
to. Hooray!
So you will be fine.
I don't like how Pathfinder technically does radiuses. It's measured in 2 squares by 2 squares, not
Oh,
one
it's because they
square.
do it from the center.
They do it from the literal center.
Which, I don't get that.
So are Sheshik and Cormier
Well,
safe?
it doesn't do it from a square. It does from that corner. So, saying it's from him, it doesn't make sense. I never understood it.
Coming from because they all have it as a red dot as the epicenter, which is at an intersection of squares, which you can't be as a person. The epicenter is always from a square, so all their epicenters are weird.
So what's your ruling? I'm going to go with what you guys say.
It's yours, but I think this. If you did this circle, I don't think it'd cover enough of this.
Yeah, okay. I like the circle, so we'll go with the circle. So now we'll go to Poshment.
Alright, well, I guess then I will go ahead and pop bless. Ooh,
So
some
plus
more.
1 morale bonus to everyone's attack rolls and fear saves.
Yes, sir. And then, well, at that point, I guess I will just go ahead and probably step back a little bit, as I am starting to run low on resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
After the
The wrong
22, we get Cormier's 15.
Oh. Nine squares?
Looks like it.
Sorry, I was trying to activate Twitch Prime, but let me go back to my character sheet. Don't think I'm in. No, I am in light armor. So. Charge.
Alright. I'm gonna bitch slap a skeleton. Hit me with your best shot.
Okay. I rolled a whopping 10. Plus 2 is 12.
They're flat-footed.
Their nat armor should be enough. So I miss.
Yeah.
Friend rolled a 9. Nat 20. Confirm with a 15
That'll hit.
and a 22.
That'll hit.
The ones that hit are claws, which are slashing.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna ask that.
Yep. So 5 points of slashing and 8 points of slashing.
8 from the crit.
Oh,
Is that including bless?
sorry, the crit. I forgot I critted.
Oh, did
So
you
it's
all your
30
attack
crit.
rolls, including bless?
No.
Then you hit.
That plus 1.
That plus 1.
13?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the crit from Cormier is 5 plus 8, which is 13. And then the second claw is 8 again. And then I hit. Yay. We are level 4 still, right?
Yep.
Correct.
For 5 points of bludgeoning piercing.
That Skelly Boy is Gonzo. Alright, so after Cormier's bashing round,
Smashing.
we will go to Holgo.
Brandon, I tell you where the door is, but you already know.
I already know very well. He still has rounds left, so he will inspire courage plus 2 to your attacks and damages from Halgo.
Back to activate Twitch Prime.
And those are competence bonuses, so it's all good. So plus 3 to your attacks and plus 2 to your damage. After that,
Dang me dang. Right now I have plus 6 to attacks and 1d4 plus 1 damage.
it is the last Skelly Boy.
Hooray.
I'm not too much higher than that.
So you will. 1, 2.
Cormier, as a melee combatant, has plus 5 to attack rolls and 1d8 plus 2.
Well, see, normally I'm at plus 3 and then 1d4 minus 2, so.
So Cormier, he walks up and he hits you with a mace, and you take 9 damage.
Ow.
Rolled a 7 on a d8. Sorry.
Man, you're so rude.
That is the Skelly Boy's turn. Let's get Sheshik. That's me.
Where are we?
We is at a table.
So with
Not so little buddy.
plus 3 to attacks and plus 2 to
Yes.
damages, Sheshik will step up and hit him with his best shot. So plus 8 to his
Fire
roll.
away. I mean, yes, David.
Sheshik misses.
It is indeed.
And then
a
now
race
we're going
full
for
of
the
kinds.
fortitude saves to see if he sickens. He passes the fortitude save, and that will conclude Sheshik's turn. So now we'll go to Cecil. You're up.
Alright.
Don't roll a 1 like your good buddy Sheshik did.
Fair enough. Okay. Now, pardon for forgetting. Can I smite this guy?
You smote last time against the Skeletal Champion, so how many smites do you have per day?
Do you get one additional one at 4th level? I think it's every 3 levels.
Because,
Paladin. Okay, at 4th level and every 3 levels after the Paladin can swipe.
Yep, so you
One
have the
additional
second one.
So I have the
Oh.
second one.
We switch seating depending on who's running the game.
Halgo will state that it's not evil.
Okay.
It's not inherently evil.
That's what I wanted to do. I suppose I could have detected it, but you know.
Can you do that as a swift action, as a free action?
I don't think so.
You actually do it like the detect spells.
Oh, so it takes like 2 or 3 rounds
Three rounds.
Yeah.
Or you roll appropriate knowledge check.
Which Halgo did,
Which
yeah.
he did,
So
It's usually your knowledge bot tells you it's evil. And the creature type. Because your paladins are next to never.
knowledge bots,
person
because they only
making
get
the
2
knowledge
skill
checks.
points per
Yeah.
level, and intelligence is an important skill for them.
Hi.
Oh yeah, now that I think about it, as soon as we start actually getting money in for being
Streaming.
what we are now, we should start looking into getting emotes
Anyway, that's
for
14.
the stream.
14 will
Yeah.
not hit.
Ha
Is there anything else you wish to do on your turn,
Nice.
Spencer?
I stole one of the badges.
Oh man!
Okay. After
Now you
that,
have as
it
many
will
badges
be
as
Omi.
I do.
Heck out of here.
Yeah,
Coming
one of you's
for
gotta
you.
get a 4th badge.
You can't. 3 is the max.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I actually have, I'm sure, 1 or 2 more badges than that. It's just those are the 3 that pop up.
Oh.
Moderator. One of the top 10
I forgot,
subscribers
Rob.
for this
Halgo
stream.
will say
And
resist
Prime.
5 acid cold in case you want to try casting one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to make sure to do the one that's
But
on my
nothing
phone.
about mind affecting.
Cool.
Right.
Because that's the one that watches us.
Yeah.
So it's your turn.
Oh, take your spot. Hey, man, give me a will save.
The Bogwit? Or
Yeah.
Braden himself?
That one.
So the Bogwit and not Braden himself.
Yes.
Yay.
No, that is just a piece of garbage. Not a die. Not a die at all, actually.
Save for half.
It's a die if a turtle eats it, then they will die.
What damage will
Huh?
it take?
The turtle eats it, they
20
will
save for
die.
half.
Oh, 20.
So then it would be die.
Yeah. Fair enough.
She's trying
I'm
to get
sorry,
your attention.
Brock. I didn't mean to roll a natural 20 save.
Hey, just find a thing use some spells against. Not 20.
What are your spell DCs? And they're probably
16.
It will be Poshment next.
Alright, well,
I don't need it.
I think so.
We haven't gone hiking yet. We have a lot of problems right now in our area. It's pretty smoky right now.
California's on fire.
Always.
as usual.
My entire bedroom smells like I had a campfire in it.
Despite our best efforts,
Wait,
California is
what,
still on
what
fire.
best efforts has California taken lately?
PG&E turning off our power to avoid fires,
What?
and we're still on fire.
I think well, I'm pretty sure that this one was one that they started on purpose.
Oh yeah, it was a controlled burn that went out of control.
Or well, it's not out of control. Fortunately, it was just
No, it's maintained.
they
It's
So
just as a
if
lot.
I get up there,
people that started.
I'm gonna
control
probably
it.
get sick. I'm assuming because I get what fortitude of this plus this many.
You can make it.
It's the fun part where California's on fire all the time, but it's supposed to be on fire all the time.
Sort of.
The hills are supposed to light on fire, like, all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
But
oh,
enough
the
not
natural,
exposed.
Yeah.
natural world. Yeah, it's just because we. Us
Got
pesky
feel like
humans
I'm
would
doing
build
something.
shit out there that it doesn't get the burn.
Mm-hmm. And then when it does burn, it's so much worse.
Yeah.
Because the only way pine trees
So here
populate
is my
is
fortitude
after
save.
fires.
Okay.
Yeah.
That right there is a 17.
Which shows you how
You're safe.
crazy
Woo!
on fire California used to be. It's
And now I'm gonna
forest
smack
is
'em.
fucking huge.
+3 to your attack, +2 to damage.
Yep. So I
To
got
create a
plus
forest
6.
that big that all thrives inside of fire.
That's a 16.
That'll hit.
Woo!
Ravens are just crazy.
And then for damage, no,
But
not,
yeah.
it's too high.
Everything
this
is
one?
covered in
Gotta roll
smoke,
this
so
one.
no hiking.
Yeah.
So 4 damage.
Actually,
Alrighty.
Bludgeoning.
I was just thinking like redwood bark makes so much more sense. When
Just
you think about
smacked
it.
him
It's
with my
something that's
staff.
supposed to like burn slow and just sort of slough off.
And
That's supposed to
Cormier?
protect you.
It'll be your and Kren's turn
So-
next.
Okay. So, Redwoods did it the natural selection thing by going like, hey, our bark is awesome and fireproof.
Yes.
And we kind of just go like, yeah, that didn't burn off. Okay, you got new stuff now. And then pine trees are like, no, we'll just die horribly in a fire, and then we'll have like 1 billion babies afterwards.
Ooh, that flank and that charge.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit a skeleton, I think, because right now we have
+3 to attack,
Plus 3.
+2 to damage.
so +3 to attack gives me an 8, which plus the thing I rolled gives me a 20 in total.
That will hit.
+2 charge, +2 flank. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, that
banging.
one.
Is that a max damage, boy?
That is an 8 plus my 2 plus the
3.
inspired 3?
2.
2
Oh, is it just 2?
It's
Yeah.
1 for the morale, 2 for
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
competence on the.
Correct.
attack rolls,
Yeah.
and then 2 on damage.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, it's 12 bludgeoning damage to the skeleton.
It's a good hit.
And then Kren gets 3, because 1 for bless, 2 for inspire, 2 for flanking, and 2 for charge.
So 7.
So these are all +7.
+7 on all these attack
Not bad.
rolls.
Yep.
Hit it
So-
with your best shot.
Plus 12. 12 plus 10 is 22.
22 will hit.
So 8, 2, 4, 6.
So
7.
7's the static modifier
Yeah.
on this.
So 11 plus 12 is a 23,
That'll hit.
and 11 plus 12 is a 23.
That'll hit.
Okay.
Kren stacking up the points right there.
Nice.
I missed with my bite last turn, so I didn't roll it a d6 because I'm a dum dum.
Do we ever get bored of playing board games? Not really.
No,
We're nerds, so.
they're always fun. I invite other people over to play board games when some people can't play.
Yeah.
Sometimes we may get bored of the specific board game in general, but of
Never
board
board games
games
as a whole.
themselves, no.
There's always something to do.
And I think really the only. Well, I mean, it's a party game, not a board game.
The only game we've ever gotten bored of is
Okay.
Cards Against
Well, right,
Huge
then.
Manatees.
Spencer, is that your hidden family? Your secret family? Daddy? So, at the barbershop contest I went to this weekend, they just started.
Can I tell you damage first?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, tell me damage.
So it's 11 from the bite,
Okay.
I
Alright.
just took damage.
9 from the claw, and 10 from the claw.
So that's going to be a 30 in total.
Sure. If you added those numbers, they equal 30.
I think Kren just decimated. Oh, wait. Almost just decimated this guy.
It was
Maybe
So-
Cecil can hit him this next time.
9, 10, 11. Yeah,
Right.
30.
Finish it up.
30 over 3 attacks, though.
Okay.
Well, you
so
have
take
an
his
extra
DR into
+2
account.
even right now, so you've got
He
a
doesn't
pretty
have
good
DR,
chance
the
of it, I'm
skeleton
sure.
boy.
Fair enough.
Has
Oh.
DR.
Yeah, they're all skeletons.
So before we move on to Halgo's turn, so the barbershop contest, barbershop has always been just males, and the females have their own separate society.
Right.
But we're just letting the females now, in either mixed or all females, compete in the same contest that we do.
That's
Alright.
cool.
And so there was only one female quartet who competed, and there was 2 mixed quartets.
Yeah.
So the one female quartet, they come out with like these little jackets with these mini skirts and these high boots, and we were like, all, whoa, like you guys came out with that, dang. And they sing the song, and it was like, hi daddy, I could buy you a diamond ring, I could get you this daddy, I could get you that daddy. And so me and my buddies were talking about it afterwards. And I was like, yeah, every single guy's sitting there awkwardly, like covering up, and like, I was like, bitch, I was sprawled like this. And he goes, well, yeah, with a little boop. I was like, the truth hurts.
He was like, hey, I'm trying to get that diamond ring.
All right.
Hey, I have polished my disappointed dad routine at work. I've made my coworkers uncomfortable, so like, let's go.
Let's go.
So, Halgo will hit, and he will steal
I'll
all
tell
the
you
glory.
everything, all of your worst fears
Or
about your
not.
parents telling you things. I will say them.
Halgo
I knew that.
staggered it. So he will shoot
I
again.
know you smoke marijuana, and
And
before you get upset, I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed.
I just wish
Helga will not hit the second attack.
Get some of
I
that
just
sativa,
wish-
bro.
Cecil,
I just wish your
You're up.
strains were better.
The creature is literally staggered. Hit it for 1 damage, and you got this.
Hit it with your
I
best.
have +2.
You have
Shots.
+5 to your
Plus
attack
5?
roll.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's flanking.
Then I think that's 20.
Okay, roll 1 damage. Roll 1 whole damage.
Curse of non-damage.
5.
He's down.
Yay!
Woot!
And then Cecil,
This thing is.
no, Sheshik will walk
This
up
is
and try to finish off
disgusting.
the Skelly boy. He'll hit, and he'll down
Deadly
Skelly
Skelly
boy.
Suit.
Yay!
Alright,
Alrighty then.
so much like
Oh, she
the
likes it.
rest of, what did I, okay, much like, the rest of the rooms that you guys been searching for in this temple, there are still just a lot of different offerings
Oh, that's okay.
to the statues and stuff, especially behind the altar in the
And-
top alcove.
Alright.
So, I just have to math away how much all these stupid scrolls that are here cost, and then I'll tell you how much
Very
assortment
nifty.
of gems and shit you guys got from this room.
Loot.
Meth away. Meth away.
Just like
Math 'em all
19.
away.
Oh, math. Sorry.
Math them all away. Yeah, math them all away. You just gotta math them all away. Man, dumplings sound good.
They were pretty
They
good.
do.
I enjoyed them today.
Does DoorDash do dumplings yet?
Huh?
Somebody
Oh, I
dumpling
don't
on
think
DoorDash.
DoorDash does dumplings.
Just want some yummy dumplings.
Right? Man, I haven't been there in like a month and a half. I really need to go again.
I stopped hanging out with Margie during dinner time. I see her for 2.5 hours on Wednesday. And during lunchtime. So I haven't gone. But if they
Alright.
don't DoorDash
So there are
for us hanging out.
3,765.7 gold pieces worth of sorted gems and coins.
Gold pieces of stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, there's the agates,
The gems.
the gems, and then the scrolls that you were waiting for.
Scrolls.
Arcane Mark,
You can leave. How dare you?
Bear's Endurance.
Ooh, that's not actually that bad.
That's 150. It's a pretty good one.
I was thinking about the $3 delivery charge on McDonald's. but
Oh.
like, sure, we'll go with that.
Nice.
So
Well,
Blessed
have you
Weapon,
seen Taco Bell? Taco Bell's a $7
Yeah, it's
delivery
fucking
charge.
ridiculous.
Cure Light Wounds,
Dude, I don't wanna
Applebee's
deal
is
with the bullshit of
$6.
that drive-through either.
Make Whole,
I would.
and Reduced Person.
I
Those are
know
all
Taco
potions,
Bell's
I
is
said,
ridiculous. I've looked at the
You said
delivery fee and
scrolls.
I
gone,
meant
no.
potions. Those are all potions.
Driving myself is worth
So
$7.
Just a scroll of
Yeah.
arcane mark.
No, it's a potion of Arcane Mark.
Exactly.
Oh.
I assume you drink the potion and then you mark something. So now we're on to the scrolls once you're ready fixing
Mark.
what I didn't tell you originally.
Your name is now Mark. Damn it!
Poor demon.
That's not what I actually wanted to look up this way. Right.
So make a will save, or your
Okay.
name is Mark.
Scroll of.
Arcane Lock. Scroll of Bless.
Oh, fuck Chinese food.
Bless.
Scroll of Cossphere.
Delivery fee
Scroll
over
of
$15.
Create Water.
Grey water.
Or 36 handles.
Scroll of Darkness.
That's
Scroll of Minor Image. Scroll of Shield of Faith. Scroll of Speak with Animals. And Scroll of Summon Monster 1.
Falafel Corner,
Okay.
which is over by T4 and Land and Sea, has a delivery fee over $35.
So, once you guys get to the back, you actually do see
get all the
that
way up here.
the statue in this alcove is more put together than the rest of them.
It's ridiculous.
Even if you guys were to roll 20s in your checks, it's not put together enough for you to identify what elder being it would be, but you can definitely tell like it's not something of this plane.
You're not on this plane.
I'm not. And then if you guys explore this way, you're gonna see another office building, and you're gonna see a building that has a staircase going up, but the staircase is collapsed in.
Oh.
And you don't know if it's worth the time to undig it.
Can you?
Well, we can't really know whether it's worth the time unless we do it. So
Fair.
hop to it.
Helga will say, at this point, actually, I think it's more prudent to send back word to send in a squad. It is clear that this system needs to be thoroughly checked, and I'm afraid that we do not have the time.
Like as I'm trying to pry some of the rocks with my staff.
I think he's got
As-
It's all about the
Caesar's quiet.
leverage.
Caesar's quietly.
It's all
like,
about leverage.
all 30 pounds of you.
Hey,
Finally, what?
35
go to,
pounds. Thank you very much.
My bad.
Plus my gear.
Protecting the land is also our job.
Yeah, punk ass.
Besides, how is
Where do you think the squad that's going to clear this tunnel system came from?
Punk ass.
recruitment?
Mm-hmm.
Being an ass punk.
Is this one of your Saturday D&D's figure?
Yeah, Tyler is Inquisitor.
Okay, I figured it was probably Tyler.
Yeah.
I like the little Scully boy on it.
Shane, I think, just has his at home. I showed them Hero Forge and they fucking creamed themselves.
Nice.
Well, hopefully soon we'll get the resin printer.
Oh, did you say they have centaurs now?
What?
Yeah.
They have Toric BBs?
And you guys can save money with just downloading schematics from there and get them instantly.
Heck
Well, I mean, not instantly, but...
We'll get the
Getting them a little bit quicker.
No
we'll get the
shipping costs.
files instantly.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it's all about
That
You
makes
know.
about that.
You can get
No
them the day
travel.
of.
Okay, there you go.
Eventually, we have to find a program that is Hero Forge at home.
They'll cost money.
How much money do they cost? Have you looked into it? Oh, not that good, huh?
It's not all. Not. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know either.
Holy shit!
I suppose part of it would definitely be trying to find.
So I went to Grubhub because I wanted to see what was not on DoorDash. DoorDash is superior.
Yeah.
The only thing Grubhub has on it is pizza.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, DoorDash had like 15 restaurants that were currently up between here and Folsom. But one of the ones that isn't on DoorDash is, I know Noah mentioned Chicago pizza with a twist. It's Indian food meets pizza.
Weird.
So like the number one is a chicken tikka masala pizza.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
That could be pretty tasty.
Sounds so
You
good.
could also try Postmates. I wonder if that's in our area.
Postmates is in Folsom at least. I don't know if it's all the way up here.
Good question.
Because I want food and I don't want to leave.
Fair.
I don't want you to leave either, Austin.
Oh, no, I really want to leave.
Oh.
I'm worried.
You should let me know where you're ordering from, because I
Of course.
might just jump in.
So,
And I'll
the
kick you
town
back
that
later
you
after I
guys
get paid.
are at now is
For me.
somewhere around here on the path.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to text Bryce.
So once you guys
I'm going to Vegas.
go back on your way,
Mm-hmm.
you guys
28th.
travel up. You run into.
We didn't mention this at the beginning of D&D. 2 Mondays from now, I won't be here. So
The next War Races session.
the next Ward Races session, I will miss. I will be in Vegas. I will be here that Wednesday of that week, though.
Okay.
So do we
For
want
Brock's
to
next
do
game, I guess.
side quests or we want to try to do Wendy's?
I'm totally fine with you guys doing Wendy's without me if you guys so choose.
Maybe we should just do. We'll discuss this later. We got a game to play right now.
Okay.
We were supposed to bring it at the beginning of session.
Yeah.
I was letting you guys know.
Thank you.
So you guys do run across into much more smaller settlements and stuff, all the way up to this crossroads here. Once you reach here, you do run into a slightly more major city. It's not really just a settlement, but it's like actually got like gates and walls and looks very well established.
have I had time to heal my con damage?
Oh, this would have been days.
Perfect.
So at 1 point a day.
Yeah. So
How many
Quick
con
question.
damage did you have?
I had 1.
So yeah.
Wasn't that bad.
full reference. How long ago was the Harvest Festival? At
You're
this
now
point?
looking at around a month.
Okay, so it's probably been like then little over a month since I've been to this town, because I'm assuming I would have stopped here on my way from here to Adabud, or
So-
to Swinfall.
Yeah, probably.
I need to know in exact days how long this took.
Oh,
Alright, so
Because I have 7 ability damage.
So this was 6 days more of travel.
Okay, all my cons gone. And I only have 1 dex, which doesn't do anything.
You had so much ability damage. That's right. So Halgo will be like, yes. I've been waiting for us to get to this location. This should be quite a place where we can get a lot of recruitment going. Many Osmanans are reported to be in this area, and sympathizers of Osmana as well.
nice, nice.
Mine?
One.
So, forgot to make a name for the fucking city. So we will call it,
Big titty goth girlfriend.
Postmates has fucking nothing.
Oof. There you go.
it's worth a shot.
let's
I
do,
suppose.
come on, give me something that sounds
I'm
cool.
gonna see if DoorDash
We will call it
has
Hesal,
Chicago's.
Hesall, Hesal.
City of Hassel. Got it.
So as you guys approach,
Hesal.
along the southern road to the southern gate of Hesal, you do see guards at their post outside, and they will ask you to stop as they come forward, and they start doing, their customs inspection that you would expect at a place this large. And they will go, please state your business.
Getting food?
Passing food.
Halga will go, we are not simply passing through. We have a
Proven
decree from the King of Atrana himself that we are allowed to travel wherever we want and do active recruitment. And he pulls out the paper to show the guard.
How dare you stop us? Sorry, that was him, not me.
Halga,
Backhands
And the
a little
guard
white
go-
glove.
the guard goes, yes, this does seem to be in order, but I must warn you that Hassal is in a state of emergency right now, and this may not be the best place for you guys to conduct your mission.
We got fire.
I mean, the way you make it sound almost sounds like it's perfect for this sort of thing.
What do you...
It sounds like you got some trouble. Anything we can help with? Or is it just, just are people away? Is it a vacation season? What exactly do you mean?
Um...
Oh, also
guard-
for clarity, I am just passing through.
Give me a diplomacy check.
I think I'm okay at that one. Yeah, I had that number.
And after you do that, pick
It's
what
a
we're eating.
24.
Alright,
Oh, I got a
so the
pick.
guard
Just
goes,
see if there's anything that strikes your fancy,
Alright.
because I'm too hungry to pick.
okay, Master Gnome, I will give you the entire story.
Hooray!
We have recently had a string of murders happening at night. We have in total had 7 over the course of 4 months, but the last 3 have been within a week.
Oh.
Alright.
So,
Were any of them boxes of cereal?
yes, my lucky charms.
The real
We
question.
have a
Were they?
serial killer.
I hate you.
Yeah!
I don't want to play this game anymore.
He just kills with cereal. Force feeding them just Lucky Charms until they.
All 7 of them have been asphyxiated on cereal. We have on our hands the serial killer. But he'd be the serial killer, not just a serial killer.
So yes,
The serial killers.
there's been a string of murders over the last 4 months, and the last 3 have been within this week. The last one being last night itself.
Dun dun dun.
The real question: were they just regular murders, or were they murders most foul?
Did a chicken commit them?
We found feathers at the scene. We think it was. We think it's a chicken. Looks at feathers. I think it was a turkey.
No. Chickens can fly.
It did have a fly speed. Well, there goes the side quest. You guys figured out that the turkey chicken murdered everyone.
The turducken.
Oh, that was
I
easy.
guess we'll end here tonight.
Someone was calling it a swan.
Swan?
Wait, wrong game.
How dare you behind me to one game?
Well, actually, there was a really good question that since Austin went back in time and redid his character, did the new Maldrick, as he was traveling with us, even do the Maldrick the Swan bit?
We'll have to
Because-
ask that later. While we're playing.
Yeah.
Depends on how far back I went.
It's true.
Is there anything that ties these murders together that might suggest a motive?
Some rope or some string?
Manacles.
This was obviously the work of a chained rogue.
It was the chain.
The chains kind of rope. What makes them chains? The manacles.
Just clink, clink,
Right,
clink.
sounds about right.
He was
Minus
probably a
do a
member of
stealth
the-
check.
Chain gang. Working on the chain gang.
I'm back on the chain gang.
If it was a chicken, was it an excellent murder?
Well, here's what's been cracking me up lately. In addition,
I've had it up to here with your yolks.
But on a more slightly serious note, I've been laughing at people like ordering their crepes and they wanted no chicken but eggs. I was like, they just want chicken precursor.
They want fetus. Can I get chicken with only its fetus form?
Anyway.
Just gonna stay down here, guys.
Brothers
How
down
about
there.
Rubios?
We're being attacked
How
by
about
a
Rubios?
white.
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever you picked, I was gonna go, sure.
Okay.
Ooh, I might slide in on that.
Slide it on that DM.
No, it's the DD.
Oh.
The DoorDash.
The DoorDash.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I found a cat butt.
So I think the last thing we said is I said that there's been the
Murder.
last murder was last night.
Yeah. And I was asking if there was anything that suggested a motive.
You said that, yes. A motive or connection?
Connection, motive, anything that would connect them.
It's
I mean, I'm not very smart, so what are some of you mental boys are
other than the frequency. Other than the frequency of the murders, not much connects them.
89.8 megahertz.
Wow. Have they been tied to any specific important dates? Potentially relative to the victims?
Not that we've discovered so far.
How were they killed?
I do not have the specifics of that. You'll either have to
Asphyxiated with
go
cereal.
to the guard station, the morgue, or I believe they're still processing the latest crime scene.
Of course. Well, thank you for your time. I'm sure we will seek to assist the constabulary in solving this issue.
Whereas we've had no luck in finding out anything, I'm not holding my breath, but I do wish you good luck on this.
Thank you.
Good. So at this point, Helga will say, if you guys do not have any better suggestions, I think we should go to the guardhouse to see what a captain might be able to fill us in on.
I agree. I'm sure they would not look favorably upon us barging into an active crime scene.
I gave you a D20 to play that.
So you guys go ahead and you guys get directions to the guardhouse. And you will run into Guard Captain Sanders. And after Halgo fills him in that they have permission to do shit because the king said so, and that they've already talked to the guard and have been slightly filled in, and they want to offer, you guys want to offer your services.
Flex the might of the Ozymandian military.
Sanders will say, yes, any assistance that you can give us would be most appreciated in this matter. I am tearing my hair out trying to figure this out.
Well, that's not going to help you.
Yeah, I don't see how that would help.
I guess.
Figured out yet?
What?
No.
Do you guys just want me to start talking? Are there any questions that you guys have specifically?
How was she killed? Or how were they killed?
Spencer asked that.
We're still processing the latest
We had to
murder,
come here.
so we don't have
We sent it off to forensics.
What about
all
the
of
other
those
ones?
details, but the first of the three most
Shipped it off to forensics.
it seems that the first 4 murders were done with knives. Almost like he was toying or testing or experimenting, we think.
That's gruesome.
But it's these last 3 murders where things change.
The ones within the last week?
Yes. So the first of the most recent murders, it wasn't with a knife. But it was something similar, it's just we can't quite identify it.
So, a similarly knife-like object.
Wider,
Short,
though.
stabby boy.
A spoon.
A wide knife.
Yeah, a wife.
A wife. It must have been a wife.
Clearly,
We're busting this case wide open. Check their
Bring
wives.
forward all the wives. We have to check them all.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, our first
She's
victim.
pretty broad. Bring her in for questioning.
So, all 7 of the victims have been women.
Wife on wife violence.
But we can't really find anything particularly connecting them all together. So, for example, out of the most recent murders, the one that happened 8 days ago, she was a worker at an establishment called Finders Keepers in town. What?
No, that was the second woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And her name was Patience.
Is a virtue?
Is a virtue.
Again, second woman.
And her body was discovered in an alley near Finders Keepers.
Losers Weepers?
Second woman. Hi.
The second
Get
murder
ahead of each other.
was...
Patience.
He's the virtue.
That's the first one.
That's the first victim.
Exactly. That's where we're at.
So,
I hate you.
the second murder was
That's
much...
the third. Don't even get there yet.
Was much harder to identify due to the state of the body. She was only identified by her
South Carolina?
jewelry itself, for it was really all that
So-
survived.
Question. Not that I would, but if I were to kill someone and they had jewelry on them, wouldn't I take it?
That
you?
is
Depends on why you killed
the most often Yes.
Strictly hypothetical, of course.
Yes. No, you are correct in this matter, and that.
Do you have jewelry on you?
We did just pick up some gems. Shh.
Oh, good point.
That's not jewelry.
Those are shiny rocks.
Suggesting that they're
What's the
killing for
difference?
killing's sake.
One's polished.
Yes, we actually think that.
Yes.
No, we don't think. We discovered that after the second murder, that their possessions, much like jewelry and other things like that, stopped being taken.
So they were being taken before, and then they stopped being taken?
Yes.
Finders keepers.
Losers,
And
weepers.
so we're not assuming then that they just didn't have any belongings on them at the time to begin with? Is there any reason to believe that they'd be out without belongings?
That's a good point. It's hard to know if
Because I
someone
mean, if
just
they
never.
didn't take them later, if we're talking about the same person going from person to person, especially leaving jewelry, it's probably just the first couple didn't have anything that we would think to take, and so there's nothing there that looks like it was left behind.
I am concerned by your use of the word we.
We would never.
It's the royal we.
It's like where? Your Majesty.
Crimes were committed by royalty.
Your
Oh,
Majesty.
have I not told you? No, I'm just kidding. No, we're not royalty.
Yes, it's hard to tell if the first two victims actually had any valuables on them. You are correct.
Right.
But we do know that the last 5 victims had their valuables left on them.
So these probably weren't muggings for things then.
Oh boy.
So that leads me to believe
You want me to get you lunch
whoever
tomorrow for it?
Sure.
Whoever it was that's killing all these people were doing it specifically to kill these people. The question is why.
That's the question. Let me fill you in on our second victim to see if that helps with your thought process.
Got it.
So her name was Jessie Lichter. She is the wife of.
But Tommy killed her.
Is this the second or the third one?
Jesse
Second.
licked her.
Oh.
But Tommy killed her.
She is the wife of one of the bosses in the warehouse. Oh, in a warehouse in the warehouse district. She was found dead in his warehouse itself, and her body was beaten to such a pulp that the only way we could identify her was by the wedding ring.
So
So it could not be. It could definitely be staged.
And this one was bludgeoned to death? Were there any signs of being mashed up in the other murders?
No, they all seem to be either from knives
Well, this
or.
one was, you said, beat into a pulp. So this one could even be unrelated.
It could, but with the string of murders, we're working on the hypothesis that somehow they're strung together.
A string of murders is strung.
Remember, this is before Mindhunters took place. Serial killers are still a new thing.
What?
You know, I'm really working off the assumption right now that they completely understand serial killers. I've seen too much Criminal Minds and shit.
Yeah.
Well,
My only problem with this at this point is that all these other ones are very similar, and then you have one that's beaten to a pulp. I feel like keeping this one in mind would be a good idea, but getting hung up on anything particular to this might just be us wasting time. Because it might just not be the same person. Just someone else who happened to be out and about killing people on the same, week.
Well,
How big is this town?
Like a small city.
small city, yeah. I don't know populations of
So
Pathfinder.
maybe a couple thousand.
Couple thousand, yeah.
hopefully it's not big enough for the two of them. They come to blows. It all ends. But
I would agree with you in the
So-
string.
Can't do Rubios.
clothing.
Schedule delivery tomorrow at 11:15.
Oh.
It's too close
That's
to closing,
annoying.
I guess.
I guess we're not doing Rubio's then.
But yeah, I was thinking about it because if you guys ever get a chance, the Mindhunter show on Netflix is actually pretty good. but it's all about the FBI guys who started the idea of both like forensic psychology, because we really didn't like it was crazy. The FBI didn't have protocols for dealing with serial killers until the 70s. Like
The thought of someone killing people over and over and over again just didn't occur.
Yeah, exactly. Like you think about like it was always crimes of passion or crimes of like stealing something, and like there was just something about like the change in times where it started happening more often, as well as the other part was sharing data. You started to actually being able to see the patterns, like because like serial killers aren't usually stupid.
Right.
They're usually a little too smart for their own good.
They're very meticulous and they're very paranoid.
It's like they're the types that would go and like kill across county lines because they know that the sheriff's departments aren't going to be sharing murder statistics with each other and cross-referencing them. And so it was really interesting. Like they were like people started looking like historically and like going like, holy crap, we had more of these running around than we thought. Like, but it was just that they were smart. But then. So anyway, but it's an interesting one. But we didn't really have a social consciousness of serial killers.
Around when was this show saying that they established their thought process?
So this would have been 60s, 70s.
It's when they were starting to discover the trend.
Yeah,
Do you have a second choice?
like you
I
think
did
about
not
like
have a
Ted
second
Bundy and
choice,
stuff was like one of the first ones too, is where they were trying to do that.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's a pretty new thing, but we take it for granted because it's just
Well, it's been in our whole lifetime that it's been
it's our whole
established.
lifetime. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting recontextualization. But
Okay, so on comment to you about they may not be related. Sanders will say, I would agree with you, but this last murder that happened last night, the preliminary reports I have is from blunt force trauma also.
So we have 2 strings of murders.
That
Shoelaces.
We have
That would be the worst case scenario. Shoelaces that can carry knives and clubs.
Animated shoelaces.
I don't like it.
It is a murder most confusing, actually.
So the bodies, I only have the bodies of the 3 most recent ones. The other 4 have already been laid to rest.
I give up.
The last one I have not yet gotten the report of who she was.
There you
As in, because they're still at the site processing it. But I do have Jesse and Patience in the morgue now. So,
I love how futuristic this is. I'm sure you've heard the TikTok audio of like 1800s detectives.
Oh.
Blood. Gross.
gross. Yeah. There's a pile of detective. There's a pile of blood.
puddle of the killer's blood. No.
Gross.
Gross.
I love that TikTok audio file.
Guess I'll just eat the food that's in my fridge.
Oh no. But like when you have magic, like that does I think add an element to it.
Yeah, you can just cast the 3rd level spell, Speak with Dead. Who killed you?
Yep.
That helps.
He looked exactly like this, sir. Find him for me.
Thank you very much.
Good thing that no such thing as 5th level clerics.
Good thing they stop at 4.5.
I mean, yes, yes it is.
Okay. So Sanders, you can either start with looking at the bodies themselves if you like, or going to the sites that the murders happened.
This size will probably do more good.
Just a quick side note. What have you guys actually done so far, so that we don't do the same things?
And are you keeping these bodies preserved any way, shape, or form, or have they just been out somewhere?
Standard gentle repose.
Okay.
Very standard, of course.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
Imagine it would be in this day and age.
Imagine if Dougie had gentle repose.
We've tried asking questions around at Finders Keepers, but that is in the poorer district of town, and people tend to be more secretive there. We've had a lot of problems making any headway there.
What do they do at Finders Keepers?
I mean, I'm pretty good at making friends. I could go.
It it's a seedier establishment that
Oh, their nursery.
made.
No. It's bird food.
Oh, bird food.
It's a seedier establishment that caters to
Bird food.
booze, cards, and prostitution.
Ah. I mean, disgusting. No.
And whereas I wouldn't expect the same amount of secrets from the warehouse workers themselves,
Don't fucking yell.
we have had very little success talking to them. They're really off right now, and we don't know if this is because their boss's wife was the victim or for another reason.
You must be in on it.
They're the murderers.
Kill them and be done with it. That's not how.
And
the
then for
due
the
process.
most recent one, it is right outside our main town square, actually right next to the governor's
Due
mansion.
process is what I call my morning stuff.
So we have done nothing but our preliminary processings on it. It's also early morning time reference of the day.
Fair enough.
So the body was just recently discovered.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because these guys are bound by the day-night cycle.
Yes.
Because of farmer sighting.
Yes.
Despite half the
Exactly.
race having dark vision and spells being the same.
Yes.
Right.
But they have very advanced forensics.
Yes.
Okay. So where do y'all want to go?
Say seems like a crime.
Which crime?
Just go with the most recent one.
Okay. So I'm trying to implement a system of investigation within Pathfinder. So for a lot of these things, it's going to be a check to tell what the person, place, or thing needs to give you the information, and then you'll do a check based off of that.
I press X to doubt.
So this is in one of the Pathfinder books that came out. They had this very long, elaborate way of this doing that, and then one of the Pathfinder societies that the podcast in which I listened to really slimmed it down and trimmed off the fat. So, for example, they were talking to an academic,
Like that?
and they found out that somehow, like, a history check was how to get the information out of it, and then they made the history check, and then passed or failed based off of that. So, I tried to include multiple ways of finding out what was needed and multiple ways of passing it. So it wasn't like well, you guys know geography, so sucks to be you. Like, I tried to find multiple things because I didn't memorize your skills yet.
Fair.
I got all the knowledge, at least somewhat.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can also roll a 1 and get an 8.
Yeah.
So Sheshik's going to say no. Halgo's going to say, Sheshik and I will stay here and work with what the guard captain already has. You four should go out there and look at the most recent murder and move on from there as you see prudent.
Understood.
Okay, so as you guys head to town square, there's a crowd around, and there's like police tape line.
Do we have
Sure, it totally is.
Do we have a like a guard escort, just somebody to introduce us?
They'll give you.
Just
Were we given
oh.
deputy badges?
You are given temporary deputy badges.
Yes.
Yay.
Oh, it's a little sticker on.
Volunteer.
Volunteer deputies. Yep. So,
It is good to be official.
as you
Keep
guys
adding up my resume.
as you guys push through the crowd and get to
Directly
the front
assisted the military.
and show the guards your temporary deputy badges, they let you in.
Became temporarily.
So you see on the
deputized.
ground that the victim is once again a woman, and she isn't what was described as Jessie, beaten to a pulp to be unrecognizable. It's not quite that far, but you can tell that it was severe blunt force trauma that did it. And how do you guys want to proceed?
So where was it that she was murdered at?
Just outside the governor's mansion.
Well, it's obviously the governor.
Any of you guys in particular good with like dead people?
Murder.
Dead people might be like a heal check.
That would indeed probably be the case, but I'm not very good with dead people.
I can make a heal check.
Anyone can make a heal check on train. It's just a wisdom check.
mean-
Do you have points in it?
I do.
Okay.
Yay.
How much do you have in heal?
5.
Okay, so go ahead and make a check.
Yay.
19.
All right, so yeah, you can definitely tell that it was blunt force trauma to the head, mainly the head being impacted upon a surface.
Bonk.
So as you state that, everyone make me a perception check.
With that check, am I able
Don't
to
look
tell?
my way.
whether-
17.
Ooh. There's
19.
Me.
25.
So Cecil rolled a nat 20, so we'll just go with Cecil. You all passed, actually.
Sweet.
So Cecil,
Good for Cecil.
continuing on, what'd you roll?
Less than a nat 20.
Okay, you all passed. You realize that. What were you gonna ask first before I move on? Sorry.
Could I tell, was just based on the heal check, did it seem like the beating took place before the killing blow?
Oh,
Because they were killed by them getting slammed into something. Was more or less what I was able to tell.
you think that's the killing blow, but based off of the area around you and your guys' perception checks, you're pretty sure it didn't happen here.
Ooh. So they are
Because there's not much blood.
So
gross.
this has
Well,
been
the awkward part, Ron?
staged.
What?
Where a cleaner in D&D
Prestidigitation.
is literally just a 0 level caster.
It's not the point.
That is the point. We're using magic in the investigation.
So, in that regard, they obviously wanted people to see this one. It's not about the money. It's about sending a message.
So-
there's some sort of like underground crime syndicate in this little city.
And
They're killing people?
They're cleaning the house.
Or it's somebody being mad at them and all these people were involved.
Perhaps. But why would, if that were the case, why wouldn't you kill the warehouse owner?
Maybe he wasn't involved.
Maybe his wife was running a thing on the side.
Perhaps.
Let him know. Or it was a threat to him. Like, hey,
Yeah, all that. That's also true.
do this or we'll kill your wife. And he's like, you guys wouldn't. Oh, she's dead.
Fair.
Guys, there was clearly a like undercover women's society where they was like secretly controlling the city. And someone caught on, and now they're taking them out systematically, one by one. That has to be it.
And this town seems so nice. It was obviously.
I know, it looked really
was
sketchy
obviously
when I
that
was here
woman's-
last time.
Well, you were here during the artists convention.
That does explain a lot, I suppose.
Nice. Buzzing.
I don't know what to do with these pencils sometimes.
Love and cherish him.
Yeah.
What else would you do with
Yeah,
him?
exactly.
I don't
what
know.
else
That's why I
would
say I
you
don't
do?
know what to do with that.
So Dead by Impact probably did not get killed here.
Got killed elsewhere and then brought here. Seems like a lot of trouble to go through.
I agree.
So
They
is the
definitely
governor on
wanted
this
you to
town?
see
Is that what
this.
we're getting?
There is a governor, yeah. Elected governor.
And that's the biggest authority?
Yep.
So
Is
that.
this lady important to the governor? We can
Yeah.
find out.
We haven't identified her yet.
Yeah.
Well, let's just ask the governor in order to go look at her.
Is the governor married?
Yes.
Mistress. His wife is a barbarian. She's going around killing everybody he's cheated on her with.
Well, Austin did it once again. Close up shop. Let's go home, gentlemen.
Well, I guess we can first solve.
I guess mine was a little bit complicated, so yours is probably more accurate.
So,
if she was here in the morning, we could see if she was supposed to be here.
they will say that the governor has looked at the body and says that he does not know who this woman is.
So it wasn't a message to him, as far as we can tell.
That's fair. Well, he didn't do a very good job, but yeah,
I mean, we can always ask around and see if there's anybody missing.
that's true. Hey,
What?
kitty.
Like, hey, was there anyone who was supposed to show up for work today who didn't show up? Or, like, when you woke up this morning, was your wife in bed or in the kitchen making food or in the house at all? Like, these sorts of things. Like, someone has to be missing if someone's dead.
That is true.
And what if nobody's missing?
What, and someone dragged an entire body into the city for this? Man, these guys... I
Well,
like
there was a
that.
traveler.
I like the dedication.
That's
That's scary.
It's like, I like that.
No, I like
The
I like to think that
dedication.
it's two killers in opposite cities.
They just keep taking their
They-
kills to the other one.
No, that they have an agreement. They swap.
That's
They
what I'm
meet
saying.
halfway between the towns, and they're like, "All right, I killed this bitch tonight." He's like, "Well, I killed this poor sap." All right, see you next week.
Just knuckles.
That's highly disturbing.
No, we don't ever figure out a connection because they're from the town over.
Forget co-parenting. We've got co-killing.
I don't like it.
Oh, I like it.
So I think we're gonna try to figure out who the woman is first.
Yeah, that's really important.
Makes
Asking
sense.
some questions and such.
Hey, let's go ask around.
Okay.
Hold up pictures. Do you know who this is? I don't have pictures. That's right.
Yeah, how do we get? We could ask. We could go get a portraiteur to go and sketch.
Portraiteur?
I don't know
Too
what they're
bad
actually
the
called.
last person
But
from
like-
the artist convention just left.
Dang it, we
last
missed
night.
him. We missed all of them.
He sounds sketchy.
You sound sketchy.
Uh-oh.
Well, the feed's still going.
I've got nothing. You seem to be offline. Please wait. Wait, I think I'm back.
Let's see. 'Cause I load my Twitch from the depths of my computer's processing.
Okay, I just need to double check. I am in fact neutral good, so.
I'm glad we've established that.
Could be very useful and good to know.
Okay.
I just need to refresh, like, at what direction I'm coming at this whole thing. Is this like investigating bad things, or is this a learning experience?
Yes, it's learning what not to do.
Learning all the steps to avoid.
Exactly. If
So-
you find yourself doing any of these things, you should probably stop. You
So,
might just
are you guys
be
walking
cool.
around saying, "Hey, are you guys missing a woman this tall, this general description?"
Yep, we're looking for this lady. Have you seen her recently? Is she, is her absence, noticeable?
Before being destroyed, someone give me, you could either give me like a disguise, a craft clothing check, maybe a sense motive check. But sense motive would be a little harder.
I don't have like any of those.
What? What's happening? What are we
Sky?
trying to do?
Is that 15 cents motive?
Oh.
So just keep rolling 20s.
That was 23 disguise.
Yeah, so before, and Spencer, as you're examining the body for the first time, you do notice that the clothing before it would have been destroyed actually is of pretty good quality. Doesn't really look like it was a poor person or even a middle class person. Looks like it was.
Yeah, I was going to start in the governor's building that we're right next to.
Okay.
Very well dressed.
So as you guys go throughout the governor's building,
Or they
asking for people of this make and model that aren't there, your make and model that aren't there.
I am looking for an O2 Honda Civic.
With,
Are you
a dent in the back left corner of the bumper?
Oh yeah, whoever can dents all over the place. It's in bad shape. Well,
It's in bad
currently it's. Are you missing?
Well, I mean, it was the luxury model, so.
Talking leather
So-
sheets.
Give me let's do gather information checks as you guys are going through the governor's mansion.
Okay.
That's diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
Um,
I got a 25.
and if you have something that specifically alters only diplomacy, not gather information, it wouldn't count. But
See, I got a 29.
19.
okay, so
Yeah,
you
right.
two, as you go across, you don't have anyone really recognizing who this person is.
So yeah, I guess
Okay.
Cecil's definitely trying to be as kind as possible. Just, I hate to intrude. We're looking for help in discovering the identity of this poor woman out there.
And you totally get like every single crime show. Like, I'm walking here. They're like, no,
No,
I
wait,
can't
oh.
stop unloading these boxes to talk to the police. I have to keep unloading these boxes, or my boss is gonna get mad at me. So go away, police.
We need to go talk to the bartender,
Just
obviously.
starts unloading boxes for them. Talk.
Or we talk to the dead.
So wait, I found the thing?
No, you guys weren't able to find any. Like, no one in this building recognized her.
Damn.
Oh, I guess
She's a
not
wealthy
from here,
person of no importance.
So I guess
the
I should
district-
give you.
Can I ask
people
around
here.
and see where else someone...
So I'll give you a description
that
of what
might have
else
been.
is in this area. So there is the library.
Okay.
There is not quite a college, but a place of learning
Okay.
in this area.
Maybe there.
And there are some higher end shops.
Ooh.
I guess we could check the shops.
So there's a higher end clothing shop?
Okay. So you guys actually do find a.
Well, I mean, I also think that like if these are higher end shops that we're talking about, like the people who own these establishments might be knowing who this person is also.
Mm-hmm.
So because I didn't quite give you a good description of what was in the town center itself, I'll roll over those gather information checks if you go to the shop.
Okay.
So if you go to a clothing shop specifically, he was like, well, that could be Marilyn that works at the college. She fits about that general description. Other than that, I mean, I do have people who different shop owners, and he'll name off a few too. There's Jasmine, and she works over in the jewelry store there, but I've seen her this morning. We can
Okay.
generally see each other as we're setting up our shops. But yeah, I really can't think of anyone else that fits that general description. We'll say short hair, which is a little bit weirder for the time and stuff like that to help make it more distinguishable.
Okay. Okay.
And they wear glasses.
All right.
So short blonde hair, glasses, finer clothes. He gives you two names, one of which he's seen today.
Let's go to the academy.
Yeah, it seems
Let's
like
go
the best
to
place to
the
go for now.
mall. Today.
To the
Very
place
adorable.
of learning.
Austin, does Krun have scent?
I don't think so. We bought back over.
I'm sure he has a scent.
Yeah, it's just like
No.
I'd say he does.
Well, I rolled a 20 on this perception check for Kren. But I was going to start with him and move throughout the rest of them. So we'll say as Kren is going towards, you guys are going towards the college, Kren happens to like see something out of place in an alley next to the college.
Friend speaks English.
Oh, does he? I thought it was.
Speaks any language I speak.
Okay, then he'll tell you.
I'll be right back.
In a place,
Bye.
in an area this clean, that alley looks a little too disturbed and roughed up.
Huh. Investigate.
Okay, so as you guys go through and you start investigating the area, go ahead and give me your perceptions once you get to the alley.
0. 17. Oh, okay.
Well, see what I had.
Want to give me a perception check, Holmes?
Sure. Alright, 21.
11 and 20.
So the 11, 20, and the 17 all pass. So you will find, Spencer will find the wall with the blood on it, and actually a pretty sizable impact mark
Whoa.
from what you suspect is
The body hitting it and dying.
yes. And you actually can find hairs
Holy
in there that
crap.
seem
So who has a flesh golem?
But
Somebody's got the Frankenstein.
also,
Frankenstein
um,
monster.
another thing that you guys discover as you're searching only, and was it Kren that got the higher check? Is you guys find broken glass.
Oh.
And near the broken glass, you see this weird green liquid in it. It seems pretty thick.
Oh, it's the
So it's a what?
mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly that. He's on the right track. I was afraid my scatterings were too loose for you, but I see Austin's picking it up.
So, like green light.
Yeah, if anyone had craft alchemy, you could identify it. But is alchemy one that you can do untrained?
Crafts. All crafts you can do in training.
Okay, so you guys could roll just straight your intelligence checks unless someone has alchemy randomly.
I
No.
have 4.
I definitely don't have
That's a
that
16.
craft.
That's a 16.
5. It's because there's nothing to do
Don't
with
think a
clock.
16's high enough.
Why not?
If there's even rules for identifying things based off of craft checks.
If any of them have rules, it's craft alchemy.
But craft alchemy just puts you into craft itself, right?
Why did you do that?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. So when you go to the crafts page, it's just craft in general. Oh, here's recipe, craft, time, tools, type, carnation, combination, distillation, fermentation, apps. Yeah, so unfortunately with those checks, you guys aren't able to identify the mixture.
He's like,
Darn.
no, I totally don't want that. I mean, yes, I do, but I got it, then I don't. But I do. Well, what's that? Oh, maybe. Oh.
Do you guys put it in some kind of vial to keep it for later?
That probably would be a good idea, yeah.
Probably good.
Okay. So you guys have found the actual scene of the murder. And you have found a weird alchemical concoction in what you might be able to assume was some kind of vial or potion or something.
Yeah, and I saw Neville through it and he was sniffing the TV.
What?
No.
That's funny.
Yeah, he does that. Actually, you do that a few times. It's fine.
So, are you guys gonna tell the authorities? Or are you gonna move on to the college first? What are you guys gonna do?
I would. I mean, we know what happened at night, but I would want to find out what's on the other side of that wall. Like, is it a shop? Would somebody have been in there who could have like? Did you hear a massive impact?
It
on
was.
our wall.
It was the college.
It was the college. So
Mm.
yeah.
Is there access to this alleyway that's not the way we came in? We will have back doors come here.
Like, there's a side door to the college,
Okay.
but it does kind of like back up as the college has its entryway that spreads out. So this is kind of like a one entrance gig, if that's what you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you guys thinking is your next step?
Go to college.
Yeah.
No reason to keep going back and forth to the authorities every single time we find new evidence.
So, now that you're asking for a name of a specific person that may be your victim, you guys will get a bonus to your gather information check.
It's
So,
beef and beans,
let's get another gather information.
but it's food.
I got another 25.
17.
And that is diplomacy. Yeah, so that is 17 for me.
Okay, so you guys discover that she was.
Oh, I forgot I had diplomacy in this character. I'm so used to not having charisma. I got a 30.
Oh wow! So
That's true.
you guys
We all have
discover
charisma.
Show my hand
that
for charisma casters.
she is Dr. Edwards'
Charisma.
assistant.
Secondary, yeah.
And as you go
Is there
to,
secondary?
and you guys get directions
Yeah,
to
wisdom
where
or charisma,
Dr.
yeah.
Edwards' office is. So, is that where we head next?
Might as well.
Why did you kill her?
So, as you guys go to Dr.
Yeah.
Edwards and you knock
That
on
was
the
cool.
door,
She has not my
give,
jewel.
he'll say, "Oh, finally, you're here. You're running kind of late today. Please come." And as you open the door, he goes, "You are not who I was expecting."
Was your name Caroline?
I don't think I said Caroline.
I don't think you did.
No?
I said like Marceline.
Marceline.
Marmalade.
I told you Caroline.
Our marmalade.
And he goes, "Yes, I was. How did you know?"
She did.
Excuse me?
She is dead.
She was brutally murdered in the one of the alleyways near the campus last night. Her body was displayed as it were
In front of the governor's mansion?
In front of the governor's mansion. We are sorry for your loss, of course, but we are working in conjunction with the guard to hopefully solve this mystery, and since it's connection to the potential connections to the other murders that have been happening lately.
Wow, I saw the commotion this morning and I heard what it was about, but I didn't even think to consider that. I just assumed maybe with the added hustle and bustle that she was just delayed. Although at this point, an hour would have been quite a long delay.
12 cents motive. I don't think that helps much.
You see sincere like grief and like perplexity.
Okay.
I
As
want you to roll a 3 and see that he's lying to you.
Oh no, I didn't see that coming. This is most unfortunate news. Thank you. Okay, bye.
if you guys will excuse me, maybe I should go to the site and has she been absolutely identified?
No. Not absolutely. We're just pretty sure it's her.
Do you know what this is? And we'll pull out the flask.
What kind of a professor is he? Or doctor?
Why, actually, I teach quite a few different studies here.
Alchemy and alchemical components.
I teach
Dun, dun.
a history class. I teach a course on nature and mainly some of its more medicinal purposes.
So I'm assuming you're familiar with the body of work of the great Alaric.
Yo, are you a doctor? This person is not a doctor, no. He is a professor, though, but not a doctor.
Any barbers in the town?
Bob?
A barber?
bar-
Haircutter.
Is there a Sweeney Todd?
They tend to, do the surgery and stuff in these sorts of places.
That's true.
So, if we have one of them, they might be helpful in identifying the body.
Thugonomics. Oof.
Is that because he's a thug?
Yes.
Okay.
He knows how to make that paper in the hood.
Them sweet Benjamins,
Mm-hmm.
the bacon, the cash money,
Mm-hmm.
them sweet De Niro's.
So, Cecil, you actually think something's kind of off about him when he, you feel like there's more to be said about the nature for medicinal purposes?
Pardon, what sorts of medicinal purposes would you be exploring?
Well, it's a lot of trying to, outside of magic itself, create different concoctions that can help the body with different diseases or ailments, or even just help mending cuts and things like that.
Is in this world that you've made, is alchemy like a
That is
thing in the same way that it would
pretty much literally alchemy, yes.
And is it named as such?
Yeah, so like you have the class an alchemist,
Okay, so
and the alchemist, like their way of doing spells is they'll take concoctions,
yeah.
and instead of like going into their spell book, doing their verbal, somatic, and material components, they'll throw concoctions in and they'll create different potions that they can drink to get its effect.
Yeah, because I remember from playing Pomson. I just wanted to check if there wasn't what your fluff was.
No, it's
Just more or less.
it's mostly the same, yeah.
So then Cecil would be like, so you're an alchemist.
I wouldn't necessarily consider myself an alchemist. I tend to think I am more
An investigator.
sophisticated in what I do than alchemy.
Don't all practitioners?
He's an uppity
an
alchemist.
So-
Do you know someone who could identify potentially what this is?
Where did you get that from?
this was found at the crime scene.
Where we figured the dead body was originally,
Made
created.
dead.
Would a bad man make a good girl go bye die die?
Do you have any idea what this is?
No, that's what I'm
No,
asking.
that's why we're asking for you to identify it.
Of course, we
If
would
you
like-
lie to us, we probably won't know. So
We're definitely keeping a hold of part of the sample for ourselves.
That would be fair. I might be able to. I can get to trying to identify that mixture after I identify the body. It would be probably sometime later today that I would have it for you.
Certainly. In that case, would you join us to go see the body?
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Okay.
And he will go there and he will identify the body as Marceline.
but what if maybe it's Maybelline?
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's her.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe Marceline's not dead.
Maybe Marceline was the friends we made along the way.
Maybe.
Maybe it's mayonnaise.
It's mayonnaise.
just,
It's
some,
mayonnaise.
just some dude in the background.
Maybe it's womanades. You don't know.
Yeah, so he'll say, come sometime.
I usually do.
Come sometime in the early afternoon, and I should be fully. I should have this identified for you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Doctor.
Austin.
We appreciate that.
You're welcome. Maybe it's Maybelline. I'm really frustrated when you're really bad at skill checks today, and or don't have them.
So we know for sure who the victim is. We found where she was killed, and they're working to identify what we believe to be part of the murder weapon.
Moida.
Murder weapon.
We also
Well,
know
the
that-
concoction. I mean, we know how she died, but we don't know if that was involved in it or not.
We also know that Dr. Edwards is an uppity alchemist,
Uppity.
Uppity.
or
Yes.
at least in denial.
In denial alchemist. I don't make alchemy. What are you doing? Nothing. You're mixing liquids. No, I'm not. You just poured them together. No, I didn't.
Of course, the more historical,
Searching, trying to transmute metals.
yeah, trying to transmute metals. So, like, historically speaking, what we fantasy-wise think of alchemists versus what they actually were isn't really that related. It was mostly about trying to turn things into gold. Specifically, was like the entire
that was-
intent.
That's the philosopher's stone side of it. You get labeled as an alchemist if you were a scientist.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was a way of doing science without being labeled like an enemy to the church.
To a heathen.
That always cracked me up. I always loved their two goals: try and transmute any metal into gold,
Uh-huh.
and find an acid that dissolves everything.
Yeah.
And you're like, where would you keep it?
Well.
I made it.
It just goes straight to the
Weirdly
core.
enough.
It's gone. I didn't think
You'd
this
know
through.
when you made it.
You would know when
Well,
you made.
but guys, I mean, how do you know? See that hole? Yeah.
Whoa. But yeah, that part always
It
cracked me
doesn't
up.
end.
The acid that melts
Well,
everything.
Would they,
But they keep it in
How
fat.
how does acid melt things? You think about it like that.
Yeah.
And is there a limit to how much volume
It would
an
definitely.
acid could melt?
Yeah, because they're.
Because I
yeah.
love the idea of, like, you have like a 20 tower, like a tower that's 20 stories tall. The guy on the 20th floor figures it out and just goes.
Yeah.
You just find out how many floors it goes through before it runs out of juice.
Yeah. No, because.
Runs out of go-go juice.
Yeah,
Before the
'cause
pH
it-
balance comes back to water.
Yeah, because it is chemical reactions. But yeah, like that.
You have a new person walking to the first floor and just like, bloop, and just water by then. You're like, huh.
That was weird. Why is there a hole all the way to the top? Is someone looking back down at me?
Hi.
Hi.
But yeah, I just. That part cracked me up. But it dissolves anything. Where are we going to put it?
Well, anything but this one thing you can store.
Anything but glass, I guess. That part
Well,
always
imagine
got-
once you figured it out, you would just keep whatever components separated.
You gotta
And
keep
then
them
just-
separated.
And then, oh, well, we need to
Dun,
dissolve
dun,
this,
dun,
and we need to make
dun,
sure we
dun.
dissolve it. Then you put the things together and just.
Okay,
So at
so-
that,
so
at
you-
that
you-
point,
you-
that's
you
the point
fill-
where you become an actual Pathfinder alchemist.
So you throw both things at them so that they collide and mix in the air and then dissolve things.
You're like,
as they
so
hit.
it takes about 3 seconds for this to work. So
Actual admixture.
3.
Actual
You just making
admixture.
A's.
I forgot that
It's
Monson was an
admixtures.
alchemist.
Yeah.
And then Noah's character was an investigator, which is the rogue alchemist.
Mm-hmm. Investigators are a really sweet class.
Mm-hmm.
It's great that he used
The empiricist is just gross.
That's the one he was specifically.
The empiricist is gross.
It's
that
the,
what goes?
it's the one that
Hey.
like gives half the skills to intelligence instead of dex and wisdom and stuff that they originally are.
They're like, hey, you were an int boy before, and now you're just an int boy. You
But-
could be a floating brain for all the.
It gives like diplomacy, UMD,
disabled device.
disabled device, and like
Couple others.
6 or so in total to int.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
That was a little silly.
And plus, it gets all knowledges trained, and is the empiricist the one that gives bonuses to knowledges?
So the empiricist archetype At second level, an Empiricist uses intelligence modifier when for disabled device perception sense mode of UMD. Can also use int instead of charisma on diplomacy to gather info.
I'll gather info specifically.
Mhm. Gets an insight bonus on all will saves against illusion that stacks up to a +4 at 8th level, but also gains immunity to all illusion spells and spelling abilities at 16th level.
Oh, nice.
And at 20th level, the Empiricist power of reason and deduction becomes almost superhuman. He's able to use them in nearly all aspects of life. He can use inspiration on any skill and all ability checks without spending inspiration. Sherlock Holmes, a 20th level investigator.
That makes sense, actually. As I'm rewatching the Sherlock series on Netflix.
Oh, with Beneficial Cucumber? So good.
Oh, yeah.
You should also rewatch the movie series with the
Robert
Downey
Downey?
Jr.
Much different flavor. Did you guys ever see the Will Ferrell one?
Yes,
No,
I
I
hated
have
it.
not.
Did you really?
It was dumb.
It looked dumb, so I didn't go watch it.
Oh yeah, I had Will Ferrell and
Yeah.
whatever the other guy is. I forget what his
John
name.
C.
Yeah.
Riley?
John C. Reilly.
I definitely did not see this, and I think I'm okay with that.
It was a mock film on the
Sherlock.
the actual Sherlock movies,
Yeah.
not the TV show. So he would calculate just like Robert Downey Jr.'s character would do, and then do it wrong. The iconic scene is the killer bees. There's a fly on the glass cage of the killer bees, and he's measuring exactly how much force it would take to kill that fly with a cane that's in his hand without breaking the glass. And he just goes, and he's like, "Hey, I got a fly." Oh no, we got some other killer bees. We didn't actually die because slapstick.
Mm-hmm.
As Will Ferrell is.
All
All right, so what do you guys want to do
Will
as
Ferrell
your
had a couple good
next
films.
step?
Step
That's
Brothers.
about it. Step Brothers, Elf.
Elf.
Anchorman.
Get Hard. I really liked.
I didn't see that one actually.
That one was really funny.
That one looked funny.
Get Hard.
His
Yeah, he has to get tough, get hard for prison. He's like a really rich
He did like some white collar crime.
white collar crime. And he's going to prison for it. So he actually didn't do any crimes. The company he works for did some shady shit and then put him up as a patsy. So he's a very rich, just kind of run-of-the-mill upper middle class guy, and he's gonna go to jail. So he hires
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, the only black person he knows, to teach him to get hard for prison. And I love the entire time. It's just Kevin Hart goes back to his wife. She's like, "You have no idea what the fuck you're doing. You're a little bitch."
I liked
But it's good money, babe.
his SNL run was actually pretty good. Like he had
Believe
he was pretty iconic in that one. I think there was a great one where it's like
I know it's not Rubio's, but like,
It was good.
it makes it happen. It was a great one where he's like the boss of like an in-flight magazine company, and he's like interviewing Pierce Brosnan for a position, and it's just like in between all of these things, like talking about job perks and like, are you comfortable with this? And he's just like, so are you comfortable with getting your testicles whipped with a car antenna? What? Oh no, I'm just joking. I'm just teasing you. But
Okay then. All right, so where do you guys think you want to go next?
so we've talked about
To the
Jaguars.
mall.
It's gonna be.
To the mall today.
Let's sing the Beaver song next.
I don't actually remember that one.
Two beavers are better than one.
I love
They're
it.
twice the fun.
This is a national treasure. Is it? Nope, never mind. Moving on. She like immediately rescinds her statement.
How much wood would I need to feed both these beavers?
What was her alter ego called?
Oh, yeah.
Robin Sparkles?
I think so.
Yes. Let's play with our beavers. Let's play with our beavers in space.
just Ted and Barney.
Play with your beavers so well.
Yo, I really hope that they actually made that sketch and that was just Neil Patrick Harris them reacting to it live.
That
That
was
would've been
really
the best.
funny.
Because I love that, like, the way that, like, when he, when Party reaches his breaking point, you just kind of feel like that was played off so well. Like, I almost felt like that was genuine.
And you really hope it was.
I really hope it was. Like,
I mean, it's NPH, so
yeah, he's a good actor, so he could have pulled it off.
he's a beautiful
but-
man, and if he wanted to have the homosexual relations with me, I wouldn't stop it.
Okay, so where do you guys want to go next?
Okay,
I
so,
told you them all.
so we talked to Dr. Edwards.
He's sus as fuck.
Yes, we're gonna have to wait.
We're woke as fuck.
We gave him part of our sample. We're keeping some for ourselves, so that we can do that. Actually, I would be interested in seeing if there's anybody else who's listed as an alchemist or a student of natural medicine.
Okay,
A
so
pseudo-chemist.
yeah, as you guys,
Do you just find that it's like we ask for a pseudochemist, we wind up with a guy who's just got grids all over his walls and he's writing for Sudoku.
He's figuring out the secret of the Philosopher's Stone with Sudoku.
so as you guys
Damn.
go about town, let's do another gather information check. Since we have some diplomacy boys over here.
Woo! 12 for you, Brock. Hey, 12 for me.
15.
28.
And 15.
So yeah, you guys will find another alchemist.
You analyze.
The Farquaad is this?
He goes.
What in Lord Farquaad's beautiful kingdom is this bullshittery?
He goes. Oh, I could have you guys that done for you guys real fast, but
Of course. Takes 2 hours to scan real fast.
Well, yeah, it's the other guy's mutagen.
it's gonna cost you though.
¿Cuántos dineros, por favor?
What?
How much?
2 gold pieces for my services.
Okay.
Wait, what?
You make it sound like
Make
it's
it
going
fast.
to be like a lot of money. Two
Above
gold-
board too. It's like a lot for most people
Oh,
in
yeah.
Pathfinder, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like,
no.
you know. Well, I mean,
They changed how profession checks work.
Oh, did they?
Gold pieces per week. I looked it up the other day.
So it still could be 2 gold pieces to just identify a potion, but yeah.
Okay.
He didn't ask for an exorbitant amount, but considering our situation, he did ask us for more than he should have.
Holy shit.
But
They had a tornado fucking south of Tokyo.
oh,
Oh,
Huh.
that's weird.
Like, just apparently, just something fucky happened because they've got a typhoon inbound. So,
is there more bars?
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. Later.
apparently, just ahead of it all. Anyway, because some people I know were nearby, like 3 miles away from it.
So
Wow.
he'll come back, and he'll go. This is an odd one, but
So mutagen.
I can tell what it is right now.
Okay.
But it's really weird how it got to this point. I think it's very unstable. I think it could be much more stable than it is. So this concoction will allow you to take on monstrous-like qualities. To put it into,
The physique of a monster.
well, how did you know?
Thank you, Austin.
Steroids. Someone was
smart.
trying
Do
to
you,
cheat at
do you
sports.
have anyone who works in the city by the name of Dr. Jekyll?
Or
If we
Mr.
could find a Dr. Jekyll or a Mr. Hyde, I feel like we could end this investigation right quick.
I think we have a Dr. Edwards, and he seems like he's trying to hide.
But that's not Jekyll.
Oh, what if he turned into Jekyll?
My gift to you.
My gift to you.
Well, it's an alchemist named Edward. He's clearly Mr. Elric. I don't know what you're talking about.
With a K.
Ed. Word.
God damn it, Austin.
Is it something
He's like,
that he basically
You know
describes
what's,
as monstrous
you know what's
physique?
funnier?
Yes,
than
he describes the
24?
effect to be monstrous physique.
Okay.
25.
And I think that's a 4th level. Is that a 4th level spell?
Third.
3rd? Okay.
So did he identify to be a potion?
Not a potion per se.
An extract.
Not even an extract. No. It's much more unique than that. He goes, as an
Sorry. I'll actually say, is it a natural herbal medicine?
Oh, heavens no. This is not natural. He goes, a normal person without the bodily resistances would have to have quite a bit of fortitude, lack of a fucking better term.
I mean, it's the best term.
Yeah, to survive or to take no ill effects of an alchemist potion. An alchemist would be better suited to take another alchemist potion, but even he would have a little bit of trouble. This, I would not touch as an alchemist. I would not imbibe this. Ingest this.
So I
Even
should
if you
not
were the one
try
who
it
made
and
it?
see what happens.
If-
Is what you say.
If I were,
I was gonna do that one.
if I were to have made it for my physiology,
Mhm.
I think I could do it. This isn't made for my physiology.
Is it made for someone of this physiology?
Or this one.
It's not made for any of these physiologies. It's
What about what was the thing we killed?
Atuk?
Yeah, that one.
What from?
It's
what
not
we
for
can
a
tell?
specific race's or gender's physiology, but a specific person's physiology.
Oh. So if we force feed it to somebody and then they don't die, they're a murderer.
Well, that would
That's
be
how
a way
witch
of,
trials used to work.
Let's go back to that doctor guy and see if this kills him.
that would be a way of uncovering this.
So here's what
but
we're
I
gonna
would
do. We're
rather
gonna
Let's
go-
also go
not
ask why it
become-
takes him a couple hours.
I feel the guards.
Well, we're going back to the doctor right now.
Oh, of course. I feel like the guard might.
If we pass by a guard on the way there, let's ask for backup.
I agree.
Because anybody who can make a dent in a stone wall of somebody's head breaks the laws of physics.
Perhaps we should actually ask for backup
Done the
before
math.
going
I
there.
regret doing it.
Let's go find them.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
Okay. So you guys will roll me
That's why I appreciate
a
my hero so much.
D4.
But
What'd you get?
2.
So you'll have 5 guards with you.
Yay!
So as the 4 of you go to the office that you guys met Dr. Edwards in, you will knock. Do you guys knock or just open?
Oh, open the door. Fuck knocking.
It is empty.
Where's his receptionist? That bitch is in on it.
Isn't she dead out?
No, that was
That
the
was
grad
his-
student
that was
he
his
was sleeping
assistant.
with.
Oh.
That's the grad student he was sleeping with, yes.
Oh. Oh.
Not sleeping with. She was working her way hard through college.
Right.
Bad use of words. Oops.
You didn't say that on purpose? I don't know if I'm more mad.
Are you working hard? Or are you hardly working?
Let's just,
Well, I'm a prostitute at a local brothel, so both.
once we kill Edwards, we can find out if she was having to work the long way.
No. Very short.
So as you guys go into his study immediately,
Monstrous physique.
you do not see
Someone was trying to cheat him.
Dr. Edwards. You do see a side door though next to at like the back corner of his room.
Open it.
Let's go check it out.
Secret
then.
tunnel.
So this would be his alchemy lab.
You mean his natural science and natural herbal medicines lab?
Herbal medicines lab.
You
It's
try to
just-
make some of that herbal tea, guys. It's okay. It's
We
better
move,
for
Is
you.
it
we move
minty?
a false wall
Huh?
and we find a gigantic grow operation.
Is it mint tea?
Yeah, minty.
So, we'll be in his
Delicious.
lab.
Okay. And you guys see Dr. Edwards, and you see him with a big old potion of the green substance,
Stop. You violated the law.
and he goes,
Committed
I
crimes
wasn't
against-
expecting you guys
Very
back so
people.
soon.
It's been a long time since I've seen a good roll.
And he chugs it.
I
Oh,
got
that-
6 initiative.
Um,
Clearly, that's just what
As he
happens.
chugs it, I'm going to tell one of the guards to go get even more health.
Yep, that sounds right. We're gonna need more than that.
Get more. That was a bad idea. Now we have to kill you.
Yeah.
There's a part of me, about half of it, that really wants to kill this guy. That's a nice number. And I add to the number again.
Okay. So everyone give me their numbers.
6.
Can you pass this down to Brandon? Everything but the 9.
Cormier?
19.
That was a pretty good number. Boschman?
I also got a 19.
Yeah, it's more
Cecil?
than I do.
Cecil is going to have 13.
Okay. Does Boschman have a higher initiative modifier?
Yeah,
think
the
so.
higher initiative modifier.
Okay,
I
so
do.
Boschman, what do you want to do? And as of right now, you do see Dr. Edwards going through a change.
Okay. I would like to try and cast Hold Person on Dr. Edwards.
Okay. What is the save I will need?
What is that? Is that...
Fort save.
Sure it's not a will save.
Pretty sure it's not a will save.
Oh,
Because your body's
person.
resisting it.
Let's double check because we always forget.
Oh, will negates.
It is will save.
There
Yeah.
you
So it's a DC 17 will save.
Fine. Humanoid creature.
go. Thankfully, he still counts as a humanoid. And not a
DC 17 will?
17, correct.
Because whole person doesn't work on a monstrous.
You do not think it worked.
Oh, well, I tried.
Where did you work?
Okay.
That's all I got.
Is that all you got?
Yep.
So then it's going to be Cormier.
Charge with a lance.
With a, you got that.
Yeah. Dang it. My morning starts at 19 through 20. My lance is only at 20. But I really hope a 27 hits this bitch.
That'll hit this bitch.
So it's 6 plus
That will miss.
Like,
7,
never mind on the backup. Everybody run.
13 damage.
It turns
And
into
then
like a
it's
Scooby-Doo
crit.
scene of just us running through
Okay.
random doors in a hallway.
There's a 13.
Yeah.
Hit it flat-footed. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. I had this sheet all changed because I built this guy so long ago without knowing what your numbers were, and I looked at your numbers. I had to super lower his AC.
Did you expect us all to play full BAB characters with like super
I just
gear?
built
Okay.
characters that I wanted you guys to interact with a long time ago, so I could quickly insert them whenever I was going to.
Makes
Oh,
sense.
so you probably didn't build this guy for a 4th level party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Well, actually, so he's the metamorph, which is I think I told you guys one I like. So I did build him at level 5 because that's the first level that the metamorph works.
And without PC equivalent gear, he's a CR4.
Yeah, I did take away some of his gear just because putting him with his armor, his ring, his natural armor, plus what you get for Monstrous Physique, plus what you get from Mutagen, you guys would not have been able to hit him if he had equivalent stuff with his class abilities. So now I think I have him where he's supposed to be. So what'd you get? I'm sorry?
Well, I rolled. 6, 7, at 27.
Oh, that'll
Yeah.
hit, yeah.
Okay, and I did hit him for 13 damage.
Okay.
And then it's Kren gets his
Pouncy.
his pouncy voice at a 20, 15, 23.
Those will all hit as flat-footed.
Okay. So then it's 9 on the bite, 5 on the first claw, and 7 on the second claw.
Okay. And is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
Alright, so after that we will go to Cecil.
Perfect. Cecil is also going to go ahead and charge. Be a +2. That helps. It's going to be 18 to 20.
That'll hit.
Hooray! Ooh, 11.
11 damage. Okay. And is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
So, as he finishes his transformation, what you guys see is you see one arm that is significantly bulkier than it should be. You see his other arm, which seems more of the human size, has claws coming out the end.
Ooh.
And you see that he has fangs that grow out. He gets, his skin just looks tougher and thicker. And, whereas Dr. Edwards actually wasn't a, oh, by the way, Henry Jekyll. If that's for his full name, it's Henry Edwards. Henry Jekyll, Edward Hyde.
Cute.
I like it.
So if you guys, so he was never a skinny man to begin with, but he has sizably bulked up, but his arm has bulked up even more. So he will go to make an acrobatics check. So what's the three of yours is CMDs?
Was that pointing to me also?
No, the
No,
three that are.
Oh, okay.
So pretty sure you got mine.
Well, you're not adjacent though.
Oh,
right?
okay. Oh, you.
Cecil,
mean
what's
him
your
and Craig.
CMD?
CMD is
Crank.
10 plus BAB plus
Strength and dex.
17 and 17.
Okay. So,
We have nowhere near level gear apparently.
I tried to
So
give
is
you
that-
gold, so hopefully you guys can spend that.
Okay.
So we might want to.
Some random loot, yeah.
We might want to remember to do that at the end of the session. Give the gold out.
We have masterwork, weapon, and armor.
So
We're at level 2.
you guys are, yes. So he will run towards the window, and he will just go through the window, and you'll see him start to climb up.
Oh, okay. Well,
And
It's like, we're in pursuit. Always wanted to say that.
it'll be Olney's turn.
Can I still see him?
Not where you're at now.
But he's going up.
Yes.
I've seen the outside of the building. What does it look like?
So it's probably going to be like a 3 or 4 story building. You think right now you're on the second floor. It's going to be a steeped roof. It's not flat. It's got the thing, and once he's up there, there's not like really anything really connecting to the college. So you're like, unless he jumps or climbs down, there's not really anywhere he can go.
He's clearly climbing up. That's, I guess. He's the only one.
the window and cast a spell.
Well, yeah, I'm getting there. I was just thinking there's other things to do. Seeing if there's something a little bit better I can do than just like, hey, take some damage. But not really. No. I should go for it. Make me a will save. DC 16.
Brandon rolls a nat 20.
Not quite, but he passes.
Then he takes 8.
8K.
It's okay, I have a solution.
That's it for me.
Okay.
I have reduced person. And Kren has mount.
Alright, so we are back at the top of the initiative order. It was Poshman's.
okay. I would like to run over to the window, try and get an eye on him, and try casting my spell again.
So you're gonna try to cram through the window with
Oh,
Olney?
yeah.
Okay, and what spell do you have?
Hold person.
And it was a what save for what DC?
It is a DC 17 will save.
My dice do not like you guys.
That's fine.
Of course they.
I almost passed that on the die alone.
Is there only one window out of this office?
There's one window directly under where he is, but there is a second one.
Okay.
Or if there's not another, there's only one window out of the alchemy, but there is one out of his study.
Okay.
So it is Cormier's turn.
Reduce person on myself. Move action, mount core. Core is gonna fly out a window.
Okay. So Core's speed is probably enough to meet you at the window and fly and be outside.
I imagine so.
Okay, and you probably aren't going to be able to make it to him, but you're like,
That's what I need. Yeah, I don't want to go near to get to him.
you're pretty dang close. You're definitely within one move action right now.
Yeah.
So Cecil,
Yeah, Kren moves
Parchment
at a 40.
and Olney are casting spells out the window. He
Pew, pew.
rides his dragon out to pursue. What do you do?
While walking towards the door in search of stairs, because I'm wearing some heavy armor and a shield and all that jazz, I will take, let's see, we sent one guy off to look for backup. We had 5 total. I will take 3 of the guys with me, and I will tell another one to go outside and to keep an eye out to make sure that if he tries to run, we know where he goes.
Okay.
And then, again, I'll be looking for stairs. I will, at that point, perhaps accost someone in the hall and be like, stairs to the roof, now.
And they will give you directions.
Thank
you have
you.
guards and shit.
Thank you. And I will make my way in that direction and then turn.
Okay. So then it is Hyde's turn.
Mm-hmm.
So he will make his way up to the top of the building.
How many stories is this building?
4. He was on the
We
second
were on
story.
the second. So
In game terms, you notice he straight up has a climb speed.
I use my shield as a parachute.
There were some clues you guys... I'm a little sad you went to this one first, because there were some clues that would have let you know that this creature had a climb speed and stuff like that at some of the
Did
other
he use
sites.
3 different natural attacks with boosted strength score and climb speed?
Yeah.
You bad.
Brandon, we're 4th level.
And you don't understand that if he gets one more hit on him, he's dead.
I do understand. I know how much damage I dealt. Stop running away.
Get back here, you pussy.
It's because pounce and double damage on a charge with a lance. It's because of very specific shenanigans.
Alright, so Olney, looking out the window, he is now out of your view for spells.
What about?
Because you have to actually know where he is to cast Magic Missile.
Yes.
Right?
true, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be able to see him.
Yeah. How difficult does it look like it is would be to climb that? For someone who for someone who has a negative incline, how bad of an idea does it look like that would be for me?
Well, what is climb on a brick or stone surface?
Look up. I think it's like a 20.
So a really bad idea.
So if it's a 20, then you can't do it.
So a real bad idea.
Climb is one of those ones that was really rude.
A typical upper story wall, 21.
Since I'm fast enough, I'm gonna go catch up to that guy.
Hey.
You just follow the sound of clanking.
Basically, yes.
Okay, Parchment, you're in the same predicament.
Well, then I guess we're just gonna try and run up some stairs.
Okay, you're
Nice.
gonna follow also.
Yes.
Perfect. We are now back to Cormier. So you are on the air here, and he went over the building there. So you're gonna go up, and then you can finish this move action and strike if you wish.
Yep.
Charge.
So it's not a charge because I have to do it at an angle.
Fair.
But That is still 25
25 hits.
for 7 points of damage.
He is Dunzolini. He is in the negs.
I'm gonna make sure he falls off the building too.
Okay.
Oh, we got him for the roof. He's down there.
Well, so am I. He needs to fall 40 feet to make sure he's dead. But also, like, I totally didn't stab him again. He just fell.
Okay.
Double tap, bitches. Splat.
Yeah, so I gave him a custom monstrous humanoid, Mr. Hyde. Had a slam attack and a climb speed.
Cool.
He had the discovery, feral mutagen, which gave him the claws and the bite. He also had actually I don't think it would have been enough to matter, but he had the discovery spontaneous healing. I think you can only do that in increments of 5.
Does it require an action?
I'm looking it up right now.
Well, that's cool.
I'm not gonna retcon anything, but I should have remembered this. As a free action, once per round, he can heal. Oh, interesting. Never mind. So as you go to move him,
Does my stab not kill him?
it dropped him below 0.
Yeah.
So on his turn,
Regen.
his spontaneous healing automatically kicks in at increments of 5 per round.
He
So
stands up. Another 19, so 25.
well, you're dragging him towards.
No,
the
that was
wall.
just like a kick him off. He's on the edge of the roof, what you described.
I guess so. You're trying to kick him up.
I'm just like, yeah. I mean, I was hoping to pull it out, like pull out my lance and kind of just like flame to the side. But if I have to get separate action, just kick him off. That's what I was gonna do.
All right. So what'd you get?
19 plus 6 is 25. If he's
That
laying
hits.
down, it's 29. 7.
Okay. So it's
Oh, Kren gets 1.
your turn now, and okay. So you want Kren to do one too?
Yeah, Kren gets a doctor opportunity.
Okay.
But Kren only rolled an 11. Well, 15 if he's laying on the ground.
Yeah, that'll hit.
With all his buffs. It's not flat-footed. It's not...
It's not flat-footed if he's on the ground.
Nope.
Oh, interesting.
You get the +4 for melees and a -4 for ranged.
Okay, so that doesn't his regular AC, but now he's unconscious, and it's your turn.
I kill him. Just unload.
Okay. Sounds good.
Full round coup de grace with both.
The other mutagen he had was elemental mutagen Earth. It gave him some acid resistance, and it gave him some bonuses to climb. Yeah, I thought this was an interesting archetype. It had some good stacking of buffs, I thought, if you can premeditatively get into a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It loses bombs and extracts.
At full force, this thing would have fucking annihilated us.
Well, so it was, in my mind, it was never supposed to take you on. It was supposed to run. Always.
Mm-hmm.
The first action it did was run. If you're trying to alleviate some of the concern of its attacks versus what your stats are right now. Best case scenario for me as a DM, for storytelling wise, is this guy escapes and somehow becomes a reoccurring character later on. But completely, totally, like either he dies or he escapes and reoccurs. Those were the two options. So, luckily, Kren gives you a lot of versatility. Summoner's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing with having the Idle Line that's broken. It's just very versatile.
Mm-hmm. The one I've wanted to play, if it was like an actual very dynamic campaign, there isn't type of a summoner archetype that lets you change your Eidolon more often.
Yeah, I think I heard you talking about this.
I don't know if it's every level or if it's...
Every level you can change its evolution.
I think you can do it normally, and then it says like for a gold amount, this archetype lets you do it in between.
So the other two stops that you could have made. So the whole story of Jekyll and Hyde that I looked into only briefly, not in much depth, is that Jekyll was an upstanding member of society, but he had more base bestial urges that Jekyll could not act upon, but that he wanted to. So that's where he can create the concoction and the alter ego Hyde. So I mentioned to you that one of them was a brothel. So that's where he started off in his alter ego, and it totally makes sense for the metamorph, because at first, the first 4 levels is its only alter self. It's not monstrous physique. It's not until you hit at level 5 that it hits monstrous physique. So that's the point where at this point he's more or less in control of his alter ego, and that but it's really once he hits level 5, and he was level 6 actually. Which I only did for hit points, because like he gets an extra bab and extra saves, whatever.
Yeah.
So you would have figured out that eventually, he just started there doing cards, gambling, booze, and prostitution, and eventually, like, you'll hear there that he just became really aggressive and mean. He started treating the women wrong. He had an unhealthy obsession with Patience herself. At first, the headmistress just tried banning him from soliciting the women, but then she just had to ban him from the establishment altogether.
Okay.
And if you would have gone to the site where the murder happened, you would have seen the holes in the wall, and from there you could have deduced that it was given a climb speed. And even if you look at the walls itself, it's really like he's punching holes in.
Right.
And I kind of took this inspiration from the Jekyll and Hyde in Van Helsing, because he does kind of the same thing when Van Helsing's fighting him in, I think, London.
Oh, yeah.
The other location that you guys could have gone to would have been the warehouse. So the warehouse workers have had for a couple years now an illegal underground fighting ring. And Jekyll got a word of this, and he went over there as Hyde. And at first, like, he was just another fighter there with his mutagens adding to him. Like, he did pretty well for himself there. But once again, like, his more aggressive, malicious side started coming out to where they also banned him from the site. So he went out and took the dock manager's wife and killed her where they hold the fighting rings.
Fucking knew it. He was unground something.
Yeah, pretty close to that.
So I talked to you guys about some of the mechanics that would have led to how you would have maneuvered some of this. So for the dock workers, you would have had to, where do I have it listed? You would have done a sense motive check to see that they're extremely dodgy about the murder, but how they would best react would either be with an intimidate check or a high enough base attack bonus. So the base attack bonus was high enough for only Spencer to just walk up there and look menacing enough as is. We could have made an intimidate check to get it.
Boy.
And that's exactly like the farmer in Ruins of Aslant. It was just needed to have the full BAB for that level just to get that reward. And you would have needed to have a sense motive or knowledge local check to figure out that the headmistress had all this information, but she really only reacts well to seduction and compliments, bluff, or straight bribes, gold.
Got you $1.
Yeah, it would have been higher than $1.
Got you $2?
Alright, $3.50. It's how does that
But oh yeah, and then
350.
so
$3.50.
if you would have looked at the bodies, you definitely would have seen that Patience's body was like very meticulous in how, and it was the claws that were cutting. Very meticulous in how he was doing it, but the dock manager's wife was out of rage, and so that was just a brutal beatdown, and you would have seen that like the actual ring where the fights happened took significant damage. I mean, it's only a D6 slam attack, but for flavor's sake.
Yeah.
And then the reason why his
D6
assistant...
plus strength.
That's true. The reason why his assistant died is because she figured it out. She approached him as he was leaving through that side door, and then he just downed Monster's Physique and slammed her into the wall.
Rude.
That was the one where it's like I could never quite figure out how you guys would learn that, so I didn't really plan on you guys learning that, except for me telling you afterwards.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's cool to have like the opportunity to learn things.
Yeah, so, yeah, just as I was scrolling through archetypes of Alchemist, because Alchemist was always like, man, this is something I feel like should be very multi-classable or even gestaltable. I somehow found the Metamorph, and then once I found that, I'm like, oh, this is Jekyll and Hyde all the way. So.
All the way.
Alright, so we're done with our session tonight, but I guess since we have time, we can discuss how much gold do the four of you split.
Right.
18,193, which is 4,548 each.
So how close does that get you to 4th level?
How much did you say, bro? 4,000?
4,548.
4,500 and... So... 4,588?
48.
I have just over $5,000 in cash.
That sounds right.
And that's so second level's 1,000, third level's not 2,000. What is it?
I think it's 3,000 for third level.
5 is 4th level, $6,000.
So you're only 1,000 short.
But depending on how quickly you level, so level 5 is 10.5.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to work on that then. We'll say that through a combination of the city's thanks and
His stuff.
salary. Oh,
salary.
he had in his room you found +1 ring of protection, +1 natural armor, +1 chainmail. He had on him a +2 int headband to disguise, and a +2 strength belt, and a +1 cloak of resistance. So the belt and the cloak were on him. The chainmail, the rings, and the amulet were in his room. But yeah, we'll say through the city and your salary with the military, you guys get up to the 6,000, so an extra 1,000 for everyone.
Well, extra 1,000 for the people getting salary from the military.
Yeah.
He just gives you the money.
No, just have Mitch be behind everything at salary.
No,
and see what happens.
I can't accept this. I am not working for the military.
Well, now we get 6,298.
And so I throw it back at him.
With all of that stuff he had.
6 stars.
298.
That's if no one doesn't just want to claim it because it's better gold-wise to just claim it because you're only selling it for half price. So you have to buy it for full price.
But we're also trying to manage the party having equal loot.
Oh, yeah, that's the tough part.
Cool.
I'll allow it though if you guys have you at equal loot and then someone wants to buy at the half price instead of you guys selling it, because you do just get a better price that way. Also, the skeletal champion had a +1 mace, which is what Spencer uses, right?
I already have one.
You get a masterwork mace. Did you have a +1 or did you grab his +1?
Oh,
There was a +2 Morning Star, I think is what was on the list.
It's whatever Spencer uses was the weapon.
Okay, we'll have to grab that later.
Okay.
There was a +2 on this list though.
Okay, and then so 2 Mondays from now, if someone wants to run the side quest Inc., like I'm completely willing, but I've already ran one. So
I
if
can
someone
run one.
you want to run a side quest Inc. 2
Yeah.
Mondays from now, okay.
Okay.
So we will be level 1 adventurers.
1+.
Yes.
Yep.
Because of how we were doing that.
So,
So
you say
if
not
you
to
need
scale anything down,
help
just
with that,
Because that would feel weird.
we went up to
Yeah,
second
less hit
level
points,
NPC
good job.
classes,
Woo!
and then if your first level class gave you anything above and beyond what you would have had, then
You
you
went
get
up.
that.
Otherwise, you stuck with what you had.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because the Slayer is more skill points per level, but the 2 NPC levels were like the correct amount of skill points. So I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, I think that's all we had to do to finish up.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.